Everything is good. I have random windows open, and hopefully things aren't too terrible, right? Yeah. Have I remember? Do I remember to do this properly? Yeah. Have I remember? Do I remember to do this? Okay, so that part's working. I would like some background music because I don't. I need like. It feels weird sitting here in silence after all this time. The only thing that's like kind of strange though about this setup, about what I'm doing, is I'm basically sharing my. This stuff is like my documents, you know. So I. I don't think I will, but it is possible that I dox some critical piece of information about myself, like my given name. Do I have any sensitive documents here? My social security number is in my head. There's probably some tax forms here. Resume stuff is for sure on here. What else is here on this computer? I don't know. Need some like lo-fi playlist, Tokyo lo-fi hip hop. Is there like lo-fi Korean music? That's probably a good idea. K-pop lo-fi playlist, 93K Korean bakery feels. Honestly, maybe this is it. There were a lot of cafes in Korea when I went. A lot of Starbucks too. But this isn't the first picture. This is like the Korean air food. The first meal they served was dinner because my flight was it was midnight. Well, it was a little bit past midnight, so it was like 20 minutes into the opening day, and then they served this meal a couple hours after the flight takes off. What did I get? The options were bibimbap. There was this, the beef stroganoff option, and then there was also like Asian chicken curry. I was feeling beef today, or that day, so I got that. If you got the... I was sitting with my dad, and he got that. He got the bibimbap. But they have like the rice here. So what was served here? This was a dinner roll. This was the stroganoff. I don't remember if they called it stroganoff exactly, or if it was beef stew. It was decent. It was probably wasn't as good as the other options, but I just kind of wanted beef. And they give you a nice thing of mashed potatoes, and then this is like a vinaigrette for the salad. Some random panchan, which is just like pickled vegetables, and then they give you this nice little citrusy dessert, which I didn't eat because I don't like citrus. And they also gave you a lot of wine. I was kind of tempted to just continue. I was tempted to just continuously drink wine and just pass out for my 16-hour flight because it was 16 hours going there, 12 hours on the way back. But yeah, they offered you like you can get a soda, you can get water. Apparently, so there's more things I ate on the way there, but apparently, I I missed the fucking Pizza Hot Pocket. My sister said that they came out with the Pizza Hot Pocket and it was the best meal on the plane, but I didn't get it. I think that was during like my 5 hours of sleep that I got on the plane. And then my friend who went to Korea a few weeks before me because he's doing work there, he has business stuff to do there. He said he just gets up and abuses the fact that all the snacks are free refill and gets like all the they describe the chips in a certain way. They're like curry chips or spicy chips. Also, I'm very surprised at the number of pictures I took. When I was sorting through all these pictures and trying to like what's the word I'm looking for? Curate them to make sure there's no reflections or anything that docks me. I took like 300 pictures of food and scenery combined. I think so. Let me check the File Explorer. Okay, make sure. Okay, we're still good. Or are we? The Korea pictures are there. This is in public. I have a separate profile on my computer for this stuff because I'm smart. So I can separate my stuff more easily. Yeah, I have 335 files in here. Some of it is video, though. There was a couple of videos I took because there were some performances for free that I watched. This was the first meal. This is like the first thing I took a picture of that could conceivably be considered as part of the Korea trip. And the vegetables. I got red wine and then white wine. I can't tell if it was good wine or not. I don't know anything about it. LMAO. Yeah, I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot more than I was expecting to. As I was looking through them, there were some that were like duplicates. But I just kind of included all of them. You could see, because they're like duplicates, but they're the slight adjustment of my position while I take the picture matters. Trust me. And that's what my dad got. It's just bibimbap. Let's see, same deal. You get soup with you got the bibimbap. I didn't get a soup. I got a dinner roll. They gave me this big tray in the dinner roll. I'm gonna say other things about the flight because it was like same type of plane on the way there, the way back. Different menus though. I think different movie selections because You got the same. No, you didn't get the same shit. Oh, you got the bibimbap. It's the Korean meal. They give you the cooked white rice. Honestly, when they give you the rice, I used to in college because the rice that the dining hall serves you in college is shit. My parents would give me like these microwavable rice things in college. Not bad. The food wasn't like terrible. It was. I'm honestly quite impressed with how ornate everything was. But again, this is like my first 16-hour flight, so I don't have any other point of reference. But it's like same stuff. Oh, what the hell is that? Why did Stream Elements Duo again? Whatever. So yeah, this is what my dad got. There's like the pickles. They have the gochujang, the spicy stuff, and they give you the sesame oil and the refreshing towel. This is what I liked about Korea. They gave you the refreshment towel everywhere you went. He got wine as well, and he got the what kind of soup is that? I think it was myeokguk. It's like seaweed soup. Oh. And then this was the second meal they serve you. It's breakfast because why is it breakfast? Because my flight was at night, so they give you dinner first and they give you breakfast, and the options were it was either eggs or the continental breakfast. On the way back, the three choices were like you could get eggs, you could get or rice porridge, or there's one other option because they had different menus for the way back. And they give you the eggs were not bad, I'm not gonna lie. The two times I've had the eggs on the Korean Air, they were better than my college dining hall eggs because the college dining hall eggs are literally just like powdered eggs that taste like butthole and have the most disgusting texture. Whereas these were like they actually felt like they came from a chicken. You don't trust eggs that you don't cook yourself. That's fair. There is an increase in salmonella and stuff, but consider this, Red. If I get sick from the eggs that Korean Air gives me, I can sue them for money. I'm willing to undergo a little bit of bodily harm in order for some small financial gain. Also, Red, I wasn't able to catch any of your streams while I was in Korea, but I did like kind of tune into a couple of them a little bit. And by that I mean like I had Twitch on my phone and I woke up early enough because I actually had a normal sleep schedule in Korea, where I would open Twitch and I would see that you were streaming, I press it, and then I wouldn't be able to turn the volume on because I didn't have my headphones around me, and I would just watch you for a bit. So you have international audience now, you know? Twitch is banned in Korea, I think. But that doesn't mean like I can't watch it. I figured out. I was trying to look for like clips of myself to like start thinking about what I should be making, what kind of clip compilation or whatever I could make. And it wouldn't show me my clips. But I can still like watch Twitch streams in Korea. I just like can't access a lot of other things. Maybe if I tried to chat, it wouldn't work as well. Oh, they gave you yogurt as well. This is kind of a strange breakfast. The tater tots were pretty good because they're like microwavable tater tots that are just Napoleon Dynamite-esque, I guess. I don't know. And the muffin was fine too. They give you more fruit that I don't eat because I don't like citrus because that's like the only thing I'm picky about. A single slice of ham. I found also in Korea, whenever you go to like the fast food places and they say they have bacon in it, it's not actual American bacon. It's fucking ham. It kind of pissed me off a little bit because I would go to Lotteria with my friend to try some of like the Korean exclusive fast food options, and I would get something with bacon in it, and they give me this fucking burger with ham on it. It's like, I thought this isn't bacon. This is not pleasing to my American palate. They lied to me, you know. I understand that in other parts of the world, ham is bacon. I didn't know, man. I'm not keen on like what Asian people call ham versus what Asian people call bacon. I would have been much happier if instead of giving me like a slice of ham, they gave me a slice of Spam on my burger, because Spam goes hard. Spam is an A-tier cuisine. Kind of unironically. I was expecting a little more catering to an American palate. I've heard it's like easier to be American abroad more than ever, kind of. And then these were the two plain meals. I think my dad got the same thing I did. That's why I don't have a picture. No, the continental breakfast is like, they just give you a single muffin. The continental breakfast on Korean Air was basically just this minus the ham and the egg and the beans and stuff. It's just like a single muffin and like an extra pastry. Oh, for the bibimbap, you also got this cookie. It's called hyakwa in Korean, and for some reason my sisters just started loving it. It was actually pretty dense. It's like flavored with honey, I think, and it's sweet and dense, but it's not like overly saccharine. And this is like the first place I went. We landed in Korea at... What time did we land? We left at 12:20. the flight is 16 hours, and then you have to account for like the difference in local time. It was more like a 28-hour flight. Oh no, 29-hour flight. So we landed at like, I want to say 8 or 9. Then you have to wait for the plane to taxi, and then you gotta go through Incheon Air. And no, and then you have to like go through customs and all that stuff, and you have to go get your visa. I'm disappointed. I have my passport. I was expecting a stamp for my visa, but it's just a sticker with a barcode that just says what kind of visa it is, when it expires, and then it's like a barcode. I wanted someone to like stamp it and like in papers, please. A game I've never played before. But anyways, when we landed and we got to our hotel, the first thing we did was look for food because we were hungry. And I stopped by a convenience store. I had to acquire the milk. And so I would say on this entire shelf, I tried pretty much all of these different milks. I tried all the banana milks. I've tried the chocolate milk. I tried the coffee milk. I didn't try the regular milk. I probably should have. But I figure milk is milk. It's not going to taste too much different even if it is just in Korea. But I tried there was black sesame milk. I bought I don't think it's here, but it was Baskin Robbins brand. I think it was, at some point it was like, buy one, get one, and I bought one. I felt like I had to get one because the guy told me when I went up to the register, 1 + 1. I was like, oh, I guess I'll take it then. But I was like, I wanted to carry it and walk around, so I got a free extra one for free, which is, I'm not going to complain too much. I like free things. But I tried a lot of the different convenience store drinks. I think a lot of the pictures I took were just like of the various different convenience store drinks that I tried. I don't know what the stuff on the bottom is. I think this is milk. Let me zoom in a little bit. Mogu. Oh, wow. The quality is quite high. Wait, what is this? Coconut milk plus mango. I didn't try that. That looks interesting now. I gotta try that next time I go. Because I think I will go back to Korea at some point in the future. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. I know my sisters want to go back, and they also want to do a Japan trip, even though... I don't know why I think my sisters want to do the Japan trip, even though they're not into the whole cultural weeb shit. Simply because it's like a trendy thing to do now. Because Japan has just like exploded in soft cultural power since probably the pandemic, and the weebification or the normification of weebiness has grown. But I've wanted to do the Japan trip since I was like in middle school, so here we are. I'll take it whichever way I can. I could probably go with my friends too, even if they didn't. Well, they have to have time first. I can read Hangul at like the level of like a dyslexic 2-year-old as well. Because after I got back from Korea, I decided, you know what? I've experienced it as a tourist. What would it be like if I like try to learn the language and try to like communicate and learn more? That way I can get more in touch with my culture. Unfortunately, the 2 hardest languages for English speakers to learn, for native English speakers to learn, is like Korean and Japanese, and just like every single Asian language ever, because the grammar is different and the whole honorific system and all that other good stuff. But you know what? If I get to learn it, I just get to look that much smarter, which is really just brownie points for me. There's more stuff to try. I've had this stuff before. This is like fish sticks. Oh, they sell eggs as well. They sell soft-boiled eggs to put in your instant ramen. I tried a lot of... No, I didn't really try a ton of the convenience store food. I didn't have the convenience store experience of like going and making the ramen, mainly because I felt kind of... I didn't want to like open the ramen. I didn't know proper convenience store ramen etiquette. I didn't know if there was some specific steps and actions I needed to take in order to make it beyond just like open the thing, put the hot water in. And so for that reason, I didn't try the convenience store ramen. I was too like socially awkward to make some type of social faux pas as a foreigner in a different country. Because even though I'm a foreigner, I do look kind of Korean sometimes. I look Korean enough for some stranger or some strange white lady on the street to ask me in very slow English, do I know where something is? Because I was just kind of crossing the street waiting with everybody else. And this lady comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and says in slow English, do you know where Zara is? As if I didn't speak very good English. I'm just kind of staring at her while this is going on. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is a Zara? Only to be informed later that a Zara is a store. So I said, I have no idea. In my of course perfect English, because that's the only language I speak. That was like my fun get mistaken for not a foreigner in Korea thing. I've also had to... There was a time when I was with my friend I had to use my foreigner aura, but that I have pictures. We'll get to that story when we get to it. I also have... I also have a. There were some very interesting people I met in Korea, or very interesting interactions I've had with random strangers. And so this is the first meal of the trip, the first official meal in Korea. Because this is all in the airplane. This is like just stopping by the convenience store to see what they have. And this was at some. I didn't know it at the time, but apparently Egg Drop is like a chain. I think they're like a breakfast K-toast chain. Let me look it up real quick. Egg Drop chain, Korea. Yeah, they're like a egg sandwich place. But there was a big line, and yeah, the line was pretty touristy, but hey, we were hungry. It was like the first meal of the day. So I got an egg sandwich with like garlic mayonnaise. There was a slice of Spam in there. There's a hash brown in there as well. I was pretty hungry. And that was my first official meal. Oh. When we got to our hotel on the first day, and we're like standing outside, because we got there real early. Check-in was like at 3 or something. Check-in for the room was at 3 or 4. And we got to the hotel at around 12. They took our bags. We weren't carrying them around everywhere. And we went to explore Hongdae, because the first leg of our trip was in Hongdae. We asked our dad, like, is it nostalgic to be back in Korea after like 30 years? Because he said the last time he was there was literally 1990 something. And so he's like, no, it's not nostalgic at all. I was like, huh? Why not? It's like, and he said in the most somber tone you can imagine, the Korea I know is dead. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, then. And he said, maybe if we go to the National Cemetery, I'll feel a little bit of nostalgia. I just kind of looked at him like, what? Why? And he said, because when the first president died, who I assume is Syngman Rhee, if I remember my Korean history correctly, it was like a big deal. I also went to a couple of museums. When I was in Seoul, most of the time I was with my friends. So that's what I got. That's like random stores. Also, oh my god. So you land in Incheon. And then from Incheon, you have to go to Seoul. Distance-wise, from Incheon Airport to Seoul, it's not that far. It's only like a few miles. Incheon Airport to Seoul. Distance. Yeah, it's like 60 kilometers, 50 miles or so. It's really not that much, not that far, especially as an American, where like this is lightweight, you travel that in a day. But good Lord Almighty, the traffic on whatever godforsaken Korean highway that we were taking was such that it took 2 hours to get from the airport to Seoul. Apparently they were doing a lot of road work on the Korean highway, and then also there was like some major accident or something. And so it just took even longer. There were so many delays and detours. And I think the speed limit in Korea is naturally lower than in America as well. Because America, speed limit on a highway is like 65, 55 miles per hour, generally speaking. In Korea, I think the speed limit was like 60 kilometers an hour. And last time I checked, that was slower. So not only are you moving slower, but you can't move as quickly as well. These are scenery pictures. So let's see. So we were near Hongdae, which is like called that because Hongik University, it's near there. And there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of like little alleys and little side streets to explore. Another street, it's kind of just that generic like Asian street aesthetic that you could probably find in Japan as well, or in you could probably find in Japan or China. I've never been to China. Another thing that surprised me about Korea, there was a lot of Chinese people there. Especially in Jeju. I understand it's like a popular tourist destination, but every time I saw Asian people talking, and you would expect it to be Korean because you know you're in the country, I would say like about a quarter of the time would be in Mandarin, which is still kind of low, but higher than expected as all things considered. There was a lot of Chinese people in Korea. And then more random culture shock. So when I went to Korea, it was pretty warm. I think the forecast was it was gonna rain a lot, and it did rain quite a bit in Seoul. Korean people love wearing two colors, black and white. This is like my observations on Korean fashion trends. You wear black or white. You wear long pants and long sleeves all the time, no matter the weather, even if it's hot outside like it was then. And then if you're not wearing black or white, you're wearing jeans with like a wide brim. These like baggy, oversized, wide brim jeans were everywhere. I was thinking to myself, maybe I should buy a pair of jeans. Maybe I should while I'm here, like adapt to the cultural norm and buy a pair of jeans like this, bring it home. I think it would have been cheaper than finding jeans back home as well. But I was like, how are these people surviving? Like Korea, Seoul is built on a mountain, so there's a lot of elevation shift, and they're walking a lot too because they have good public transport. So you're walking from station to station, bus to bus, and they're doing all of this in long sleeves that are black. I'm like, don't you just sweat? Don't you just like want to die? But I guess it's like, I guess dying is okay. I guess I don't know. These are just the few observations. So if I go back and I want to pretend to be one of the population, I know what to do now. I know how to dress. I know how to appear. I know how to act. Another side street. There's always mountains in the background. Whenever I was in Seoul, you could always see like a mountain in the background. I think that was Namsan, the mountain. Or is that the name of the mountain? I don't know. There's one mountain in particular that's Namsan, I think. Nam is south, San is southern mountain. So I guess if you look south, you can see it. I found the maid cafe. There was a lot of weird stuff. I don't want to say weird, random stuff in Hongdae. I wasn't expecting like maid butler cafes in places that weren't Japan, but I found one. I didn't go in. There was another one that was like at the end of a dead end. It looked a little bit fishy, not gonna lie. It looked a little bit sketch, but I kind of peeked my head and there was like locked doors. Like, oh, I probably shouldn't be here considering I'm not gonna be a patron, and it also looks kind of sketchy. But they exist and they're there. Another street. I don't know why these streets are red. Maybe they denote like where cars can go. There was some section of Hongdae where there was some section of Hongdae where like they just blocked off the roads and cars couldn't go there. It's just mainly pedestrian, which was nice. It was pretty cool. There wasn't a ton of stuff happening in Hongdae because Hongdae's like nightlife, and we were there during weekdays. So even though it would get kind of late, wouldn't see any of the famous open Mandu guys or random people stumbling out drunk. Unfortunately, I was kind of looking forward to seeing the party culture. More streets that I found aesthetic. Random gachas. Can you see my reflection here? Kinda, not really. There was. Why did I take a picture of this gacha? Because it's a furniture gacha. And also, I enjoy gambling. I wanted to do the gachas, but I was too lazy to. And by the time I decided to like go to a gacha and try it out, I couldn't figure out how to work like this thing because this is 4,500 won. That's like what? I think that's about $3. I couldn't figure out how to do it because I tried tapping my credit card. That didn't work. I tried tapping my T-Money card. That didn't work. T-Money was like what I used to get around. It's kind of like a Metro card, but for Seoul. And it works pretty much everywhere in the country for the most part. You just put money on it and you just tap it to go places in Seoul. I got really good at using the Seoul public transit system, the system of buses and subways. And then there was a garbage gacha. Then this is Japanese because that's katakana, but I wanted to use the garbage gacha. I just couldn't figure out how to work the system. I was too embarrassed to ask other people. So I just didn't do it. I didn't buy a souvenir. I didn't really buy anything. I probably should have. I did get some skincare products that I probably could have gotten at home as well, but I really didn't want. I kept thinking to myself I was gonna buy clothing while I was in Korea, but then I would go to these stores like Musinsin and all these other Korean stores. I would look at the things they have. I would be like, do I really need this? And I would just tell myself I have enough clothes at home. So I just ended up not buying anything. Oh, this is like a big street, basically. This is like one of the roads they closed off for pedestrians in Hongdae. So they have like a bunch of stores there. Does my mouse show on the screen? It does. And it's pretty empty right now because, again, I was walking around in the middle of the day on a weekday when people are, 1, in school, 2, at work. So I got to kind of experience Hongdae when it was more empty. There were a lot of interesting restaurants that seemed nice. Some interesting bars, too. There was a English Beatles pub that I saw an advertisement for. Yeah, here it is. It said, I don't know which floor. I guess up. But it was middle of the day, so I'm not going to go to I doubt they were open. But I would have been interested to check it out. More aesthetic streets. There's just something about the way, like, the nature lines up with the sky, which lines up with the buildings. Because you can't take pictures like of streets like this in New York. The buildings are too tall. And that's good for, like, us cultivating again another certain type of aesthetic that you can only find in Midtown in Manhattan, where the buildings are taller than the field of view and you can't see the sky. And this is probably, but then you go to like a small American city like Chicago, I guess, and you could probably take a picture like this where the buildings aren't as tall or something. But there's something different about being in Asia and taking a picture like this. Maybe it's like the size of the roads, because the roads here are like really narrow. This is the size of maybe one car. I think this was a one way. I don't remember. This is again all from like the beginning of the trip, and that would have been like what, 3 weeks ago. I want to go back. I got back, so Korea was really hot, and when I left for Korea, it was also pretty warm in the States as well, because it was still like tail end of summer, but global warming, so still like 80 degrees. And then I got back from, and then in Korea it was warm, so it was not too much of a change. But then I got back from Korea, I had like a day or two of moderate warmth, and then the weather just suddenly decided to be cold again, so now I'm back in long sleeves. Truly bizarre. Oh, this is another bigger section. There's places to sit. I didn't take pictures of it later, I think, but later during the day, there were performances here, or like towards the end of the week, people were just busking, I guess. That's what the sitting stuff is for. And then to the left on this side, there was other shops and cafes and various restaurants to peruse and purchase things in. And then I got Haiti. So this is still first day stuff, because I remember I was going to go meet my friend in Apgujeong in Gangnam of Seoul before, because he just got back, because he had a business trip and he just got back from, where'd he go? No, he didn't get, his business trip was during my trip. Ayo, hand reveal? Brother, you've seen my feet. Haven't I shown my hands in the Discord before? I'm pretty sure I have, right? I feel like I have. Have I really not? You're gonna be seeing a lot more of my hands then. Yeah, I've shown my hands before. Yeah, there's a picture of me petting a dog from like 3 months ago. Anyways, there's a lot of pictures of my hands here because a lot of them are just like me holding random things I buy from the convenience store and taking a picture of it. So I got Haiti, and then I go to meet my friend in Apgujeong, which is a part of Seoul. Apparently, it's a really expensive part of Seoul. Apparently, my friend is rather wealthy, or his family is rather wealthy, because he's living in like his family's apartment that he has in Apgujeong that's by the river and very old, and old buildings are worth more, blah, 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 blah. And so this is the meal he takes me to. He meets me in Apgujeong. He shows me around his hometown, which is because this is where he lived before he came to the States, and his life was eternally bettered by meeting me. He takes me to this small manduguk place. He takes me to, it's called mandujip, which just means mandu house or dumpling house. And it's the Michelin. It's not Michelin starred. Yeah, Korea is separated by how rich you are, by how rich you are. Red. That's every single society, country, civilization, community ever. There's always like a rich part of town and a poor part of town, man. The same is true in New York City, the same is true in Chicago, the same is true in LA, the same is true in probably Beijing, the same is true in Seoul. Everything's separated by rich versus poor. Have you watched Parasite? This is what the rich guy in Parasite means when he talks about like the smell of the poor people. So anyways, his family's apparently quite wealthy, and he lives in the wealthy part of Seoul. And he took me to this really nice restaurant. Apparently, this is like North Korean style manduguk, because manduguk is like a it just literally translates to dumpling soup. It's like a pretty universal Korean meal. If you eat this during New Year's, it's like a New Year's dish as well. But he brought me here, and I was surprised by how cheap everything is. This is another thing that culturally shocked me in Korea, how cheap all the food is. Because this bowl of soup was like it was like 12,500 won, which is like $8 in the States. And he was complaining that it was more expensive, that it got more expensive. He said it used to be like 8,000 won for a bowl of the soup. Like you sell this in the States, especially given that it is Michelin Bib Gourmand, that is Michelin recommended, you probably make like $15 a bowl. And it's not like this restaurant serves a ton of other things. It's primarily just this. Now you do get the panchan with it. You get like the sprouts and the pickled cabbage. But like, the food is fucking cheap outside of America. Maybe outside of New York too, because again, a lot of the times when I go out to eat, it is for some event, it is for some special occasion. But I have seen recently on YouTube Shorts, there's this guy on YouTube Shorts that does Feeding on 15, and he lives in New York City, and he goes around New York City buying 3 meals in a day for $15. So maybe I'm just not looking at the right places, but even still, Like $8 for this? For high quality food? You kidding me? Crazy deal. And then he took me around. Where did we do? Because he showed me around Apgujeong, and then we took a bus and we went to like Seongsu. And so no, we went to like the Konkuk University area first. Because he's like, oh, you're in Hongdae now. That's like super hyped, super overcrowded now. These are like the newer happening areas, even though he's not much of a nightlife person. And so I think this is around Konkuk University. As you can see, it's night now, so there's more like bright lights, more like cyberpunk-ish, more modern aesthetic. Let me see if I can read some of this stuff. Norebang. Oh, this is a karaoke place. Like I said, I can read Korean at like the level of a dyslexic 2-year-old. Let's see. The resolution is pretty good, so I can zoom in. Dalbuchane. I don't know what that is, but there's food there. You can actually zoom in pretty well on these people. Wait, can you? I can see food. I'm actually really amazed by how high quality the resolution of my phone camera is. I guess this is the power of the iPhone 15. You can even look at the random people. See? There's a person there. There's food there. But yeah, this I think is around either Konkuk or Seongsu. You can probably look it up. Donggil-ro. Donggil-ro means road, and then 22-gil, I guess that's like the street number or some type of street stuff. The most that I can like fathom of the Korean street naming system is that ro is road. I don't understand what the 22-gil is. Maybe they divide each section up into like an area. There's also a lot of CCTVs everywhere. So here's some CCTVs. Every couple of blocks, every block you'll walk on, there's always some warning that says CCTV active, CCTV present and monitoring your actions. But yeah, this is like Seongsu. And then I think this is still Seongsu. We stumbled upon something like a night market. What happened was we saw people getting free beer from like a little stand, and we're like, wait a minute, free things? My free thing senses was tingling, and so I had him say, hey, go ask them how do you get free beer? And he used his perfect native Korean to go ask. He's like, oh, if you buy some food from the market, you'll get like a token that you can exchange for free food. Yikes. Yeah, it was really crowded. This isn't even all of them. So this is just one like line of tables, right? But if you kept walking, the tables, there's like an intersection, a four-way intersection, and the tables go in all four directions. So there's a lot of people that are here for the free beer, but they have to spend money. Honestly, pretty genius idea in order to like promote economics and whatever. So we got free food because we bought Yukoe, this. The hard part wasn't finding food to buy. The hard part was finding somewhere to sit down and eat the food. And this is where I had to use my foreigner powers in order to go get us a seat somewhere, sitting next to strangers. So that's the free beer that I got. That's Yukoe. It's raw meat. It's like basically beef sashimi, or similar to like a tartare. They put an egg in it. There you have, what is this? Some type of microgreen. There's an Asian pear and a sesame leaf. And you just eat it raw. It's good. I like it. And if you'll notice, this is metal. This isn't a seat. This is some random metal thing that I found to sit on while I tried to get my friend to go find a seat for us. When he would go and he would ask all these people in Korean, hey, can me and my friend sit here or is this table free? And he was getting rejected because he's like, no, this table is occupied, blah, 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 blah. So it was up to me. I had to go approach a random old Korean man who was sitting by himself at one of these tables and ask in my English, excuse me, is it okay if I sit here with my friend? And he just looked very confused and he's just like, huh? Yeah. And he just nodded. So I just sat down. So that was like the extent of my foreigner aura. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There was a lot of people. I think this is a different section of the market. There was food there. I think we can zoom in a little bit. What's over here? This might have been... Is that a show or something? I guess that's a show. Like, oh no, yeah, basically. And I told him, I looked, when I secured us the seat, I looked at my friend who had been trying so desperately, like, this is how you do it. This is how you get a table. You have to ask in English. And he's like, He told me, yeah, of course he's gonna say yes to you. You're a foreigner. He has to be nice to you. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, and he said, because my friend speaks Korean and looks Korean. They don't feel as bad rejecting me, someone who is Korean, versus rejecting you, a foreigner who's speaking English. Also, I asked like a middle-aged man, so he's probably extremely confused about why this tall, probably foreigner person speaking English is asking him questions. But basically, I just sat down and he couldn't say anything back to me, and I wouldn't say anything to him because I don't speak Korean, he doesn't speak English. It was a mutually beneficial deal. I just needed somewhere to sit down to eat my food and drink my beer. Most of the young people spoke English because I would go to the convenience stores, and those were generally staffed by like younger people, and they spoke English fine. If they noticed, oh, this person's not Korean, even they would start speaking to me in Korean, but I would just respond in English and they would switch to English perfectly fine. And then we stopped by a convenience store because I wanted to try some more convenience store drinks. So this one is banana milk. The first milk I tried was the coffee milk. I don't want to say I liked the coffee milk, but I was a little disappointed by it because I was expecting more of a coffee flavor. But when I had the coffee milk, it just tasted like a lighter chocolate milk, like a less chocolatey chocolate milk. The banana milk was heavenly. It was good. Don't get me wrong. The banana milk tasted exactly like I expected banana milk to taste, which is like fine. It was good. It was sweet and I enjoyed it. But honestly, low key, my favorite of the milks was the melon flavored milk because it was you ever have those Malona bars? They're like the big green bars that are like kind of creamy. You can buy them from like Asian stores, or they probably have them in regular stores too. The melon milk just tasted like melted Malona bars, and that I was kind of craving. It was real good. But these are the drinks that I got. This is what my friend got because my other friend, who is a Korean citizen, because my friend here, who is Korean, is not a Korean citizen. He's American citizen, but he was born in Korea. My other friend, who's a Korean citizen, is doing his mandatory military service now. And I met up with him later during the trip. He told us that the best drink you can get from a Korean convenience store is Pepsi Zero Sugar Lime flavor. And I am a famous zero sugar soda hater because I hate the taste of aspartame. I hate the taste of Aish. Get this person out of here. Ban. I hate the taste of aspartame. I hate the taste of zero sugar things. And so I didn't try the Pepsi Zero Sugar Lime then, but I tried it later during the trip. And I have to say, it fucking sucked. There was no redeeming quality about the Pepsi Zero Sugar Lime because you can't even taste the lime flavor. It just tastes like you're drinking Pepsi Zero Sugar and somebody like moved a lime near it. There's like a very, very faint hint of lime, but it's not strong enough to justify it. Like, it doesn't taste good. These other two drinks are fine though. The banana milk, like I said, tasted like banana milk. And then this drink that on the left-hand side, this guy, my friend, we'll call him, what will we call him? Give me a name, Red. We'll call him Kim. We'll just use the really common Korean last names to refer to my friends from now on. We'll call him Kim. He insisted that I try this drink. He didn't say it was his favorite drink. He just said it's really interesting. And I have to admit, he was right because this is like it's not quite like soda. It had a little bit of, it was like Sprite, but less sweet. It had like the fizziness and the brightness of like a mint drink without being overly sweet. It's made from pine needles. I kind of want to get it again. I probably, again, a lot of these things, because of the fact that we live in a globalized world, I can probably get it in the States. It'd probably cost a lot more though. And while this isn't my favorite drink, it was for sure very interesting because, again, it was like Sprite or 7-Up without the acidity, a hint more mintiness, and less of the sweetness. It was interesting. And then random pictures I took, because after he took me to Konkuk University, the Konkuk University area in Seongsu, he decided, you know where we should go in the middle of the night, walking? Because this is all still the first day, mind you. This is the first day I've been in Korea. I got 5 hours of sleep on the plane. I've been walking around constantly, and he's taking me around to all these places. Mind you, the next thing he does, like, let's go to the Seoul National Forest, which is just like it's kind of like Central Park, except much, much smaller. And so that's where this is. This is still all the first day. At this point, I've walked almost 40,000 steps, which is for me is 20, given my stride length and like my walking pace. 40,000 steps is almost 20 miles. So on my first day in Korea, I'm operating off of 5 hours of sleep, not 5 hours of quality sleep, but 5 hours of airplane sleep. And I'm walking like 20 miles trying to get used to being in Korea because I'm not really jet lagged. The one good thing I can say about like my absolutely terrible natural sleep schedule, my absolutely terrible circadian rhythm, is I don't get jet lag because if left to my own devices, I will be awake at like 4 a.m. at night or 5 a.m. at night, which is like 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. in Korea time. So it's perfectly fine. My body didn't have to adjust that much. So I didn't get jet lag, which is cool. But I am still tired because traveling is, even though you're sitting down a lot for the traveling, it still does take a toll on you. And so these are flowers. These are red spider lilies. I know a little bit about flowers. These like represent death or something. So that's pretty cool. And then, was this the Seoul National Park? No, this is, what was the order? It was Seoul National Park, and then he took me down to the river because Seoul, the city, is separated by the Han River. And this is like the bank of the river. They had some event or something. The way he described this place is this is the park where all the white expat dads take their American kids to play football, which I thought was a funny description. And I asked him, is that really true? He's like, yes, I see them all the time. And then, was this back in Hongdae? Yeah. So this was the banks of the Han River. And then I somehow found my way back to Hongdae. The annoying part about being in Korea is Google Maps kind of works, but they won't navigate you. You have to have Naver for that, and I feel like Naver Maps is a little bit slower. And then this was Hongdae. This is T1 Base Camp. I think this is a PC Bong that's sponsored by T1, and T1 are the League of Legends team, of course, with Faker. So got to take a picture while I'm in there. And they did beat IG today, so that's cool. And then this is another thing I get after I got back from walking almost 20 miles and I'm almost back at my hotel room. I decided, you know what? I haven't like been awake long enough. Let me try. I've drank like 5 different convenience store drinks at this point. Let me try one more. And so I tried this peach. It's like peach beer. It was recommended to me by, I think, Azukia when I was making a list of things to do in Korea before I left like 4 weeks ago. And so I tried it. It was good. It tasted like, I tasted the peach flavor. It's only 3% alcohol, so it was like extremely light peach flavored soju. And then this is the morning of the second day. For most of my time in Seoul when I wasn't spending it with my friends, hand reveal. I've revealed my hands already. That's what Red said. I've showed my hands before. I've showed my hands like 1, 2 many times before. And my feet too. But yeah, there's a lot of different reveals. You can see there'll be a back of my dad's head reveal at some point in the future as well. But these are all the pictures I took in Seoul. So if you're just getting here, hold on. My music stopped. Let me repeat the music. Hand reveal for you. Fair enough, fair enough. Did you know they have maid and butler cafes? This is all, so these are like the airplane meals. And then this is all Hongdae. Just random things that I found, random pictures that I found. Cool. And this is a place where my friend took me. Where was I? Banks of the River Han. D1 base camp. And this is where I ate breakfast the next morning. Generally, when I was in Seoul, I was either with my friends or just like wandering about, roaming the streets of Seoul like a maniac, thinking about looking for places, interesting places. And this is like, I think this is a chain, but it's not New York Bagel. It had some other name. I thought it was called New York Bagel, but it's not. It's like a bagel place in Seoul, and being a person from around the New York area, I have to make sure that if you're going to use the New York name in the bagel, it has to be of a proper quality, right? I have to, as an American, you're gonna use the Statue of Liberty. I've been there. I can see the Statue of Liberty any day I want. I didn't take the touristy stuff because I went there on like a field trip when I was in 3rd grade, but I've been to the Statue of Liberty. I gotta make sure the bagels are up to par. And I have to say the bagel was pretty shitty, not gonna lie. The price was good. It was like 12,000 won for all of this, which in America is a very fair price. In Korea, probably overpriced, but it did come with an Americano. Another thing that I learned Koreans really like, Americanos. Everywhere you go, if they have coffee, 99 out of 99 times, it's going to be an Americano, or they're going to offer an Americano. There's not going to be any of like the regular drip coffee or whatever. It's just all Americanos. Everyone just is always drinking Americanos. It's always the cheapest coffee thing on the menu. Korean Coffee Week AF. It is pretty well, yeah, because an Americano is espresso and water. I mean, overall, it's probably weaker than usual. I don't know. But the nice thing about Korean coffee is even though it's weak, everything is so cheap there. So I can just buy 30 of them and feel fine. So now that we've come to the point of contention here, you think about like Americanos would be like, just like the name of it. So I have two friends who are currently in Korea. One of them is doing his military service there and went to college there. I asked him, what the fuck is with Koreans and Americanos? And he said, I don't know. It's cheap. It's like the easiest thing to make because it's just espresso and water. And that's probably it. I think it could be initially they like the name of it because America, hell yeah. But I think over time it's just super, super cheap and easy to make. And it's always the cheapest thing on the menu. So that's why everyone offers it. But getting back to this bagel. We look at the as a certified bagel judge in 99 states, in 49 states in the continental. I am a certified bagel judge in, I would say, the continental 49 states. I'm including Hawaii as a continental 49th state. Alaska doesn't count. Why? I don't know. The bagel was not good. The quality of the bread was poor. The distribution of the lox was uneven and sloppy. We look at the sinkage here. We look here, this is a negative bagel gradient. We see how the uneven distribution of the lox pushes the bagel upwards. That means when you take that first bite, you're not getting the lox, you're getting tomato and cream cheese, right? As a sandwich, was it good? As a sandwich, it was okay. Like how badly can you fuck up a lox, cream cheese, and tomato sandwich with some herbs? That combination goes hard, man. But as a bagel it fails. And as a proud person who is from around New York, I cannot in good faith say that this is a bagel. As a sandwich, it was fine. I got some grub in me, and they gave me like these bagel chips. I think this is like raisin and almond. I don't know what this one was, but I ate it. And I got a coffee, and it was on the cheap. So as a bagel, it fails. As a sandwich, it was fine. And it was also, again, an interesting place. Because I think this was a chain. I don't know if it was a chain or not. My qualms with the bagel as well is it lacked a certain structural fortitude. It lacked a certain resilience that a proper bagel has, you know? When I bit into the bread of this bagel, it's more like eating sliced bread rather than a proper bagel. A proper bagel has doughiness, it has sponginess, it has resilience to it, right? This bagel just kind of, it crumbled beneath my teeth. It crumbled and it felt like it was just sliced bread that was made to look like a bagel, you know? That's my critique. Overall, fine. Every time I come back to it, I'm gonna make the score a little higher, but it did its job. It fed me. I took 2 pictures of this bagel. Why'd I do that? And now here is the next convenience store drink. This is like the 6th convenience store drink of the trip. At this point, I had the coffee milk. I have had the banana milk. I have had the coffee milk, banana milk. What else have I had? The peach alcoholic drink. I have had the pine drink that my friend insisted I have. I think I've had a few other things. The texture of it does look like some slice. It really was. And this was my favorite of the milks. This was the melon flavored milk. This says merona mat is his flavor, and then that over there says uyu. If there's one thing I learned from Korean Duolingo, excuse me. If there's one thing I've learned from Korean Duolingo, it's that uyu is milk. And so this was the melon milk. It tasted like somebody melted Melona, like the Melona bars, the ice cream, and put it in a thing. It was good. It was my favorite. Second favorite milk might be probably the banana milk. I really wanted to like the coffee milk. I really did. But it was just too disappointing. Because it didn't taste that strongly of coffee. It just tasted like a slight chocolatey taste. It tasted like weaker chocolate milk. And then, yeah, so on the second day of Seoul, me and my sisters and my dad, we went to Songsu. And the one thing that we wanted to get was, the one thing my sisters wanted to get was salt bread. What is salt bread? This is salt bread. Oh my god, you can see shoes reveal too. Wow, not just hand reveal and feet reveal, but you can get shoes reveal. I think these shoes are like, how old are these shoes? They're at least 4 years old. I want to say they're somewhere between 4 and 7 years old, these shoes. They've served me well. They've served me very well in all my walking. And so this is salt bread. Why did my sisters want to try salt bread? I don't know. It was good, I will say. They look older than you. Now you can track my shoe prints. You see, you think you can because you think, oh, now I know the model of shoes he wears. I can find the exact shoe print, and now I can check every single footprint on the United States and find the exact match. However, these shoes are so old that I've worn the bottoms out a bit, so they're where there should be ridges for like grip, they're kind of flat. And also, parts of it are falling off, so you can't actually track me now. It's like those crazy people who build their own guns so they can't trace the bullets. You just told us where you live? Alright, in the New York area. You can go track people with ratty shoes in the New York area. You know how many fucking New Yorkers in the New York area have disgusting ratty ass shoes? At least 1 trillion. I'm not exactly a statistician, but at least 1 trillion. And so this is salt bread. So what is salt bread? It's pretty much just a croissant. I'm not gonna lie. It was fine. It was good. I like eating food, so I like this on the basis of it being food, but it's pretty much a croissant with some salt sprinkled on top. It was a little bit less flaky than a croissant, so it was like between croissant and bread, but really if you're making a pastry that's between croissant and bread, didn't you just fail at making a croissant? I'm not exactly a patisserie pastry chef, but you know, I like being critical for the sake of being critical. But it was good. I ate it. And that's what it was. How similar was it to a pretzel? That's actually a pretty good description. It's like if a pretzel and a croissant met at a bar, the croissant had a couple too many to drink, and the pretzel had even more. And they kind of hit it off, and they're both coming out of bad relationships, and one thing leads to another, and the pretzel is taking the croissant's clothes off, and after a night of steamy romance, or just about as romantic as you can be in a one-night stand, it turns out one of them has a bun in the oven, and this is that bun. It's a salt bread. So yeah, I don't know if that was a good analogy. We'll pretend it was, though. Would I recommend it? Sure. If you're in Korea and you see like a salt bread place, as long as it's not charging too much for it, you go ahead, try it. What is too much for it though? Fuck if I know. Anything more than you're willing to pay. But again, if you like took a bite of croissant and then took a bite of a soft pretzel, and chewed them at the same time, that's kind of what this was like. And then here's another thing that they wanted to try. There was apparently in Seongsu, this it's like a Daifuku mochi. Is that what it's called? Daifuku mochi. Yeah, Daifuku mochi, I think. You never considered the idea of there being food smut? Brother, people have wearable or edible underwear that's made of candy and shit. There is for sure lots of imagery of people with whipped cream in places that whipped cream should not be. And there are 1000% people with eating kinks. There's 1 trillion% food smut. Now, not necessarily is there... Now, when I say this, I don't mean like the food fucking the food. I mean people using food for erotic purposes, but there are for sure people fucking donut holes. And food on food smut? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's for sure the idea of eroticism can penetrate anything, you know? The idea of eroticism has penetrated the food industry now. Have you never seen the idea, like, there's like a really famous burger commercial with like sexy people in it, and it's like, oh, sex sells, especially burgers. And you just extend that idea to what if the burgers were sexy, you know? Instead of the woman being sexy and the sexy woman selling the burger, what if the burger is sexy and you're selling the sexy burger, you know? But anyways, here are the Daifuku mochi. That's enough of the food spot. But if you think about it, these Daifuku mochi would be like if a fruit impregnated a rice cake. You should make a fanfic which has Sausage Party 2. Didn't they make a sequel? Sausage Party 2. They made a sequel, right? No, they made it into like a what? I should just write a food smut for a living. Why do I have current job where I do things that benefit society when I can just write food smut for a living? Because again, if we continue this idea of food smut, where um oh, where the salt bread is just the pretzel and the croissant having sex and making a kid, the daifuku mochi is just like a pregnant rice cake, you know? If you think of it's just a pregnant mochi, that's all this is. It was good. It tasted good. I think I got like a strawberry one, and then I got like a peach one, and then I got like did I get 3? I think I got 3. I'm a greedy little harlot. There's pictures of them soon, but yeah. What was I saying before I got on this like sexy food sex thing? Oh yeah, the daifuku mochi is just a mochi getting impregnated by a fruit. Anyways, these are the pictures. Wow, another hand reveal. You see, before you only got the side profile of my hand. Now you've gotten like, now you've got my fingerprints. Actually, hold on. Let me censor my thumbprint so you can't use it to commit crime. Can you actually grab it? Oh, okay. You can kind of get my thumbprint off of it. If the iPhone 15 camera was a bit more higher res, you could probably fake my thumbprint and like figure out and like use my thumbprints to commit crime and frame me for a crime that I never did. Anyways, these are the daifuku mochi. I guess I got 2. What does it say? Sang dar dargi sang dargi chap chapsar dak. I don't know what that says. But this one is peach and this one is, I think this is a strawberry, I think. They were good. This is my favorite. Peach is my favorite fruit. Get more pictures. They have like this little leaf that's attached. I think the peach one, when I got it, I think this is a tear. Because I remember having a bit of difficulty unwrapping and eating it because there's like stuff oozing out of it. And then this is the other one I had. Oh no, this was red bean. It wasn't chocolate strawberry. It was red bean and strawberry. Which reminds me, I wanted to get patjuk in Korea, which is like red bean soup, because I haven't had that in like a very long time. And again, could probably find it in the States, but it's not the same. It's not the same, you know? And then this was lunch. So this was kind of breakfast, I guess. No, this is the day of the bagel. So this was day 2. Snacks, and then we got lunch. We just stopped in. It started raining a lot. So what you're missing from here to here is the absolutely torrential downpour that occurred. Between this picture and this picture, I was like walking around Seongsu with an umbrella, and my pants are getting soaked by the torrential rain, and it's wet everywhere, and it's like a water world, and I'm trying to find interesting stores to go into to seek shelter from the rain. I think I ended up going to a Musinsin, which is kind of like Uniqlo. And so by the time we get here, I'm soaked down to the bone in rain. And the food that I get, we got soup. I met up with my family, my sisters and my dad. And we went to some random restaurant. And I got some combo set. And the combo set came with Korean blood sausage sundae. This is pork. What part of the pig is this? I don't know. There are some onions underneath it and the soup. Now, what was in the soup? I don't know. I don't know what I got. They gave me the menu in English. I just kind of pointed out what I wanted and like, okay. And they nodded to me and then they brought it out. But what was in the soup? It was like what was it similar to? Let me think of some things this was similar to. There was pork in it. They will 100% charge you more. That's what you would think. But my dad speaks Korean. Also, no, people are nice in Korea. They don't do that to you most of the time, I think. They would charge if you're like in a touristy spot, things will cost more, but that's just a side effect of being in a touristy spot. I don't think they charged me specifically more because my dad spoke Korean to them. So I was like kind of brought along. I think they wouldn't take advantage of one of their own. So I think I was fine. And then after all of this, so this was lunch. There's an English menu, then there's different prices. Maybe, but it was still cheaper. You see, I don't mind being charged more because I don't mind being charged more than the locals because I'm stimulating the economy, right? I'm doing a good service. My tourism is a good thing. Also, it's still cheaper than anywhere I can get around here, so that's a net benefit in my book. They get a little bit of extra. I get what I believe to be a good priced meal. Don't lift the veil from my eyes, Brad. Don't. I won't let your cynicism corrupt my joyous mind. I will find the joy where I can. I don't mind being charged more as long as it's cheaper than I can get back home. And then this is now you may ask, where is this coffee? What a nice cafe this is. But there seems to be a lot of hair on the floor. And the reason for that is because I went to get a haircut in Korea. I went to a salon with my sister. She also needed to get a haircut. And I used my broken English, or not my broke. I used little bits of English to communicate to the guy giving me the haircut. Whatever you think looks good, man. And he provided. I got a nice haircut. I got a down perm as well. He said my hair was too straight, it was too strong, so they gave me the down perm as well. And normally a perm would cost a bit extra because you have to go, there's like cost of labor, cost of time, cost of... Yeah, I guess I use my broken English as an example of my broken English. But anyways, I got the... You get to the salon, they ask you if you want something to drink. They have a menu that you can get water, tea, coffee, or like juice. Proof of the haircut. Well, the proof of the haircut, the fact that my hair is shorter now than it was when I got there. You don't get in a hair reveal. And so this is the coffee that I got, because this is like at 6 o'clock. I just wanted coffee. I could drink coffee forever. Abikato's first fan. February 5th, 2024. From Pikachu emote plus OMG Fisherman. Hello, Roy. Hello. I see through you. You missed all the other pictures. Damn, no hair reveal. Your secret account, not secret. Well, how many accounts do you have, man? So yeah, this is the salon that I went to. And they gave me a coffee. And again, the guy gave me a nice haircut that he recommended. He gave me the down perm on the house as well, because normally the down perm would cost more. And he gave me... What else did he give me? He was a cool guy. His name was Han. This is a salon in Hongdae. Go look for a salon in Hongdae with a guy called Han, and he'll give you a nice haircut and a free down perm. Been 84 years since you last heard me? That's probably true. I've been gone for a bit. This is my first stream in like 3 weeks. So, new person. Hope you had an amazing trip. You missed... How many pictures? I'm not even like halfway through my pictures yet. We'll scroll all the way back and I'll quickly explain what happened. These are food picture, airplane, food, lots of milk, food, street, bait cafe, street, gotcha, street, food, more food, street, free food, street, more stuff, so many different things. And now we're here at my haircut where I got a free coffee, and the guy was nice to me. It only cost me, so haircut plus down perm plus the free coffee, 30,000 won. And 30,000 won is, if I convert that into US dollars, that's $21. $21 for a coffee, a haircut, and a down perm. And the guy even offered me a second coffee. I got 2 coffees, a down perm, and a haircut for 30,000 won. Can you believe that? That's 21 US dollars. In America, that would cost me like $17,000 and the liver of my firstborn. Everything was so cheap, it was amazing. Yes, you live in Mexico? Huh? I don't know what that means. Is Korea cheap compared to Mexico? I don't know. All the frame of references for prices I have, again, is like America. And not just America, but like around New York City. So everything is super duper extra expensive too. And then this is other stuff. We got, was this day 2? I think this is still day 2. We got our Korean fried chicken. We got potato wedges. I got a beer. This is I think that's is that my younger or older sister in the background? I can't tell. So these are the first set of wings. You have beer. That's a water. This is like soy garlic. I think this is the soy garlic. You look so fine. What? Don't be weird to my siblings, Roy. And then this is like radish. So this is, they always serve this with Korean fried chicken. And this is more modern Korean fried chicken. So this is the soy garlic, and I can't remember what flavor this was. I think this was the original hot flavor. And then we got another one. This is like honey garlic. So this is soy garlic, honey garlic, and this is the mala flavor. The mala flavor, it was spicy, and I didn't like the flavor of it. It was like, it was spicy in a way, and the flavor wasn't that good, because mala is like a really popular Korean spice flavor profile. That's like Chinese flavors. It looks good. It was all right. My favorite was I like the hot first, and then the soy garlic. This one, there's like too much stuff on it, and then again the mala, it was, I don't know, it wasn't too spicy. The spicy flavor wasn't my favorite though. And then yeah, this is the more milk I'm trying. So again, you have like, oh wow, a palm reveal too. Wow. And my ratty like 5-year-old shoes as well. So I got the soy, this is soy milk, but it's black sesame soy milk. And the reason there's 2 of them is because it was buy one, get one free from the convenience store. So I tried to buy one, and the guy says 1 + 1, which means buy one, get one. I said, oh, okay. And I just grab another one. So I just drank 2 black sesame soy milks. And then this bag is from Olive Young, which is like it's like Sephora. Is it Sephora or Sephora? I don't know. It's basically just a place where they sell a bunch of makeup and skincare products. And I bought like a serum and a toner. You love Olive Young? Are there Olive Young? What? You do? What? Do they exist anywhere else outside of Korea? I don't know. Oh, they're a Korean company, but I guess they have global stuff. So yeah, everywhere I went in Korea, there was like, everywhere I went in Korea, there was an Olive Young store. Like every block, every corner, Olive Young, Olive Young, Olive Young. So I went to a decently sized one in Hongdae. They get peri pera stuff. What's peri? I don't know peri pera stuff. I don't know what that means. Peri Pera Cosmetics, official Korean beauty. Established Peri Pera, I guess it's the brand. I just bought some random skincare products, and I would have taken my time and done more research, but I just kind of grabbed 2 things off the shelf for serum and toner for like my skincare routine. And the reason for that is because I really needed to use the bathroom. The nicest thing about Korea by far was the fact that it's pretty easy to find a nice public bathroom. All the public bathrooms are quite nice. In every subway station, there's a public bathroom as well, and they're like decently clean. So that's what I did. That's why I didn't spend enough time looking at the products and just kind of randomly buying things. And then this is the morning. I know, crazy. The clean public bathrooms, it's insane. People don't like shit in the urinals and fling poop everywhere, and like, what else do people smoke? People probably do smoke in the public restrooms in Korea, mainly because everyone smokes a lot. This is probably just like me being an ignorant American thing, but there are so many people who smoke in Korea. Everyone's smoking. The men, the women, the children, everyone's smoking in Korea. There was a lot of vape shops that I saw too. This is the morning of the 3rd day. I think this is the day. So we were only in Hongdae for like 2 full days, and then the way that my sisters planned the trip is a couple of days in Hongdae, and then we got on the train to Busan. So this is the morning before we get on the train to Busan. My sisters picked up some kimbap for us from like it's not from the convenience store, but from like one of the stands that are just outside. Train to Busan, yeah, I know, just like the movie. You know, I meant to watch, I've never watched the movie, and they offered the movie on Korean Air on my way there, but on the way there, I didn't watch any movies. I just read and I slept. I read like, what did I read? I brought 3 books. I brought 3 books. I finished one of them and started one of them, because I didn't do as much reading as I thought I would. I finished Don Quixote. It took me like a year, but I finally finished Don Quixote. Now I can say I'm like educated, and it's a good book. Highly recommend. It was simultaneously very long and very short. That's a weird way to describe it, but like, it is a long book. And this is Seoul Station. So if you see here, you can see the Hangul backwards. So this is Seoul and then station. It was really busy. There was a lot of people there, and they're all looking for their train stuff. All these advertisements too. See, wow, see, look, this is another part of the culture shock. Everyone's wearing long sleeves. A lot of people are wearing long pants or long sleeves. The weather was like 85 degrees and very humid, and everyone's always in long sleeves. Also, everyone's in either white or black. Ignore this person in the front who's in light blue. White or black. The wide jeans as well. These like wide style jeans too are just extremely popular. White, black, long sleeves. That's like the definitive point of Korean culture. And then this is Busan. So the train was pretty boring. I thought the train would be a bit more exciting, but it was like a standard train. It's got seats, it's got windows. And so we go from Seoul to Busan, and Seoul's like, I want to say northern western part of, did you blend in? I kind of did. I said there was a story I had. So I blended in, and I also didn't blend in because when I was walking around Seoul, a random white lady came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and asked in very slow English, "Do you know where the Zara is?" And I don't know what Zara is, so I just told her I don't know what Zara is. And she said, "Oh, okay, thank you." She seemed very surprised that my English was native. You know, because I'm just some Asian dude in Korea. You would think that I'm Korean. Also, but I don't. But I was also stood out enough because I don't dress like this for the most part. Right? Even with my haircut, I don't have like a typical Korean haircut. Oh yeah, another thing about Korea, all the guys have like one of three haircuts. They have the bowl cut, or they have like bowl cut here, or they have like the wavy middle part, and then there's like one more that I can't remember. So yeah, this is Seoul Station, and then this is Busan. So where we stayed in Busan was a beach, or like near a beach called Haeundae. And near the beach, there's like this little side street. There's an alley with primarily pedestrians, but they do have trucks there to like help load and carry cargo and move things around. And this is where all like the restaurants are. And this was also very close to the hotel, because in Busan, when I was in Seoul, I would like walk around, take the public transport wherever I wanted to go. But in Busan, there wasn't like a subway system, so I just kind of walked around the Haeundae beach area. And again, it's cloudy and rainy because weather sucks. There's always raining in Korea for God knows whatever reason. And these are all the stores. And for lunch of this day, we stopped into a place that was in this area. We got mandu, so dumplings. And you can see, oh my God, my sister's hands. How lewd, how scandalous. And I got kalguksu, which is cut noodles. So this is like, how do I describe them? It's just noodles. It's just like noodles that you cut with a knife, and they're made of wheat. The broth, it's probably a seafood broth. I don't know, but I got it with seafood in it because I'm on the coast. I need to get something with seafood. And that's what I got. That was the meal of the third day. And then there's more of the market stuff. So this is still in this section, because along with like there being a bunch of restaurants and shops there, it's also like a seafood market with a bunch of live seafood. You could see random middle-aged, you're restraining yourself from commenting about. Brother, you've seen like the outline of one of them and their hand. What? What am I saying? Anyways, yeah, so this is like part of more than that was enough. Actually, I think I accidentally have one. Let me check something. I think when I didn't vet my pictures well enough, because I think I accidentally saw one of my sisters in one of the pictures that I showed earlier. Let me see. Was it here? Where is it? Oh yeah. In one of the earlier pictures, you can see one of my sisters. I won't say which one though. But this is the seafood market. You can see there's a octopus. I don't know what these are. I think these are hagfish. At all the places that I went to, all the little shops and restaurants that were advertising food in this area, they always had something called hagfish on them. I didn't know what that was, and I looked it up, and I think it's these things. This is sea cucumber. Over here, what is that? I think that's that abalone. And then there's more stuff on the side. But yeah. I've never had hagfish before. I kind of don't want to try it because it looks kind of gross if I'm being very honest. I know I shouldn't be like being yucked by the cultural food of my culture, but hagfish just does not look appetizing if you look up a picture of it. It's like this big old worm. It looks like it's gonna, yeah, it looks like it's gonna like climb into my butthole and like eat its way out. You know what I mean? Not in a good way. So I should try it for the culture, but it doesn't look very appealing. It's apparently like, I think on the Wikipedia article, it says it's like auspicious or good luck food or something. Or it's like a delicacy of something. Commercial use as food. In most of the world, hagfish are not eaten, but in Korea, the hagfish is a valued food, where it is generally skinned, coated in spicy sauce, and grilled over charcoal or stir-fried. It is especially popular in the southern port cities of the peninsula, such as Busan, and coastal cities in South Gyeongsang province. So yeah, I guess I was in Busan, I should have tried some. But I didn't feel comfortable looking at it. It felt weird looking at it, you know? I felt a great disturbance in the force. And then this is the view, not from my hotel, but from the cafe. So there was this nice cafe that I went to a couple of times and got a coffee. I didn't get an Americano, I got a cappuccino. Here's the beach. As you can tell, the weather is still not quite beach weather, but it's very hot. I could have gone for a swim. I did bring some swimming gear with me, but I did not want to. I just did a lot of walking. There's over here they set up a stage because they are having some cultural festival. You'll see that in a few slides probably. Here's a view of the, let me think. If this way is south, then this is the western part. There's like some more areas over there. I actually walked around here. They have like a little path that if you follow the walkway, it's not quite a boardwalk because a boardwalk has like made of boards, I guess. And you can actually walk over here. And they have, I think they have an observatory somewhere around here, and they have a lot of stuff. Basically, you can just walk there. And then here's more picture of the same area, but like more to the right. And then this is the eastern side. I walked all the way over here. And then we walked further as well because we did the Mipo Sky Capsule. They have this little like trolley car, little tram car they take you up in, and they bring you to the other side of Busan, or around the other side of Busan. And there's also these statues here. Apparently these statues, so you'll see them more here, but there's one here as well. They're like markers where there's, I don't want to say wreckage, but there's like debris that they put there to break the waves so the waves aren't as strong. And it's a marker for the ships, like, oh, the beach or the water gets much shallower here. Because there was like a military exercise that went on, I think, while I was in Busan. You could see like the choppers and the ships. So vertical portrait version now. And then this is the other part. So here is the big square, and then the picture, the most recent one is from here. This is it. This is the crosswalk. There's a lot of South Asian people in Busan. I saw a lot of people who are South Asian in Busan. Beyond, and there's also again a lot of Chinese tourists. There's a lot of, I did hear people speaking Japanese as well. You're impressed? I'm very good at taking pictures. Yeah, so Haeundae is the name of the beach. Look, I can read Korean at my dyslexic second 2-year-old level. Haeundae Haeundae. Oh, it says it under there too. So that's like the crosswalk that I crossed a lot, because this is the hotel I was staying at was like over this one. It's the La whatever, this hotel, and then the side street from the beginning. Usually Riftbound as the, what is Riftbound? TCG? You trying to get me to play more TCGs? Oh, this is the, oh, I know what Riftbound is. Roy, I already play League of Legends. What more do you want from me? How much more of my soul do I have to sacrifice to Riot Games? Why do you want me to not only, like, give them pieces of my soul. I've in my how many years? In my 13 years of playing, or no, is it 13 or 14? In my like 13 or 14 years of playing League of Legends, I have not spent a single dime on Riot Games. Not out yet. God. I suppose I could learn. But I don't know if it's going to be big. Is it big enough to compete with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic? And then apparently it's also going to have to compete with One Piece. It's fine. Shops have the demo decks. They do? What the hell? You are fast. It's fun. I got to look up. I saw there used to be a League content creator that used to watch LS he was invited to learn how to play it because he was also like from Magic the Gathering background as well. One day, one game at a time though. There's so many card games to play, man. I don't have enough time or money. This is all just pictures of like the crosswalk in the same section. And then I took a picture of this because haha, nodded. Funny joke about about bestiality. And then this is more things that I ate. This is I got from a convenience store. It's like a grape drink. And this is a kimbap. Don't look at me like that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about what nodding means. Don't worry about it. Complicated English word. Not for don't worry about it. So this is a grape drink. This might be my favorite convenience store drink that I had because I don't know, because like Western grape flavor tastes different from like Eastern grape flavor, you know? And I like the Eastern grape flavor more. There's also bits of grape in the bottom. So you open it, you drink the grape. You drink the drink, and there's little bits of pieces of grape inside of it. And then I got a kimbap because I was hungry. And this one was spicy pork, I believe. It was pretty good. And then my like 10th convenience store drink. What was this? I think. Oh yeah, I remember. I was asking my friend for convenience store drink recommendations. He said this one, which I ended up liking a lot, and this rice drink. What does this say? Achim. I don't know. It's like a rice drink. It's like a very slightly sweet rice drink. And then there's a picture of a cat. You drink rice water here too? Is it sweet as well? Let me look it up. I'll look up Mexican rice drink. Horchata? Oh, I know what horchata is. I think I've had horchata before. This is much sweeter than this though. Horchata is much sweeter than this because this is like probably similar flavoring, but it's also not. They don't use cinnamon in it. It's just like rice, and I don't really know how they sweeten this. The flavor is a lot less intense, I guess. I think I've had horchata before. I do like it. And then there's a picture of random cat. There was a lot of random cats. I don't know if this cat was stray or somebody owns this cat. I guess it's somebody's cat because it's got a leash and like a identification. I guess the idea is, yeah, I guess the idea is to keep the cat out here, and then it'll attract people to come to the store and they'll buy something from you. Because this is one of the stores that was at the beginning of this alleyway. Yes, this is the kidnapper. This cat kidnapped me and dragged me all the way to Korea by itself with no help. And then here is a picture of Busan at night from a pier. I walked all the way to the eastern edge, so I've stayed somewhere around over here, and I walked all the way around. And there's like a little pier. And then I took this picture, and it was nice, because I'm good at taking pictures. There's a lot of light, though. A lot of light pollution. But it looks cool, so that's all that matters. And then this is same location. You can tell it's the same location because this woman is still there. But like taking more of the shore. Or not more, more of the shore as opposed to more of the coastline. I actually am what? What am I? Lay it on me. I'm ready for the compliments and the praise. You will refrain. No, it's okay. I insist. I insist. You're going to say such a cool person that takes good pictures, right? And so this is the other picture, same place, but more of the city. And then this picture I took because when I went out drinking with my friends several years ago, we went to a Korean style pub called a Pocha. And in addition to getting drinks, you get food as well, because that's like a big part of drinking, eating. Oh, where's the music? And I got a tornado potato, and they laughed at me. They're like, "We're gonna be at a Korean place, and you're gonna get a tornado potato." And I said, "Yeah, it's my favorite traditional Korean food." And they laughed. And so I took this picture to like show them, "Hey, you can get a tornado potato in Korea too." I all those years ago when you laughed at me for getting a fried potato at a bar, it's not just like it wasn't just at the bar. This is a traditional dish. And then this is the same market from before, but at night. You see they have the little, are these fairy lights? I guess they're fairy lights. All the stores are lit up. It's also a lot more crowded. A lot of tourists, a lot of different foodstuffs. You can zoom in and, oh, you can actually kind of see the faces of random people. You can see all these different stores selling food with all the flashing lights and the signs. Very pretty. And then this was dinner of one of the days because this day we were not very hungry. And so we got one of the things that Busan is known for besides so I looked up like the few things that Busan is known for, and it's like Busan is known for its beaches, or the foods at least. The hagfish, daejikukbap, which is like pork and rice soup, which I didn't get to have in Busan. I just kept forgetting. And this, odang. So if you watch enough anime, you'll realize, wait a minute, that sounds all like oden from the animes that you watch. And it's basically the same thing. It's soup with fish cakes, and that's what this is what this is more like street foodie version. So in addition to that, we have sundae, Korean blood sausage. There should be salt somewhere on the table that you dip it into. Tteokbokki with another fish cake, and then some random tempura. And the way this worked, this is like one of those side stalls, and it's like, oh yeah, you pick like 5 fried things, you get 3 pieces of odeng, you get some sundae and tteokbokki. So it's pretty cheap, again. The primary purpose of going to Korea for me was to eat cheap food, and I got to do a lot of that. And then this is another stand. So after we ate this, we walked along the alley somewhere to just kind of inspect the goods, inspect the wares. And so here, what's not shown in this picture is the enormous line that had formed, because this is the one of the last shops in the alley, and there is this enormous line that's like snaking around the exit of the alley, and they're all lined up for this stuff. And this is hotak. It's like a fried rice cake filled with like something sweet. And so the ones they offered were honey, filled with seeds, and filled with honey and seeds. I got the one filled with honey. It was not filled with honey. They lied to me. It had is there a picture in it? No. But this is what it is. They deep fry it and they press it down, and it tastes really, really good. And they give it to you really, really hot. What's inside of it is like brown sugar, which is still really good. I'm not going to complain for some extra sweetness. But it wasn't honey, and I was expecting a bit of a drizzle because they were advertising a lot of stuff with honey in the back of the alley. And then this is the picture I took because I have a running joke with my friends about reading Don Quixote on the beach because they don't believe that I read. And so every time I show them a picture of this, I was like, look at this Photoshop that I made. And that's it. That's why this picture is here. And I forgot to take it out of this collection because this wasn't really supposed to be here. But it's here anyways. LMAO, performative reading. I've never felt more performative than reading an English book in a Korean cafe. That is the drinking a cappuccino. The only way I could have felt more performative in that time was if I got a matcha latte. It really did feel very performative. But for the most part, I am very much reading alone in my room with no one looking at me, or like alone somewhere else. I don't like to be performative. But never have I felt more of like a poser, more of like a doing this thing only for the attention than sitting in a Korean cafe reading Don Quixote because I'm almost done with the book and I want to get it done with. But I did do that, and I felt really bad about it. Stop shaming me for doing things that I like. I used to like reading when I was younger, and now I still do, but I just don't do enough of it. But yeah, this is the cafe where I was being a performative male, reading, drinking a cappuccino, and like looking at the beach because there was a nice view. Please don't make fun of me. I just want to educate myself. I just want to be a more well-rounded individual. I don't want people to approach me. If somebody approaches me and asks me what I'm reading because they think I'm being a performative reader and they want me to like respond to them, very much not you. You spelled aesthetic wrong. Aesthetic is AESTHETIC. There's an A in the front. I look, man. I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm almost done with Don Quixote. I'll get a coffee. I'll do some reading. I for sure won't look like a poser. But now, here, drinking my coffee in the morning, reading my book, I was like, if somebody wanted to punch me for being, because they think I'm a performative male, I would completely understand. I would completely understand. Fortunately, it's my first day of work training, and you stream for 5 hours? Red, you're crazy. Go to sleep. You can watch the VOD, or like you can. What else could you do? I probably won't upload all these pictures to Discord simply because there's 300 of them. I'm still not even halfway through. Where am I? Yeah, I'm nowhere. Am I close to halfway through? No, I'm like a quarter of the way through the pictures. Oh, good lord. This is going to be a 17-hour stream. But yeah, so this is me being a performative male. I don't get the appeal. Why do people like to be performative males? Like, I like reading, I like coffee, but doing it out in public where I could be approached by strangers why would I do that? I get that performative males do it to get approached by strangers so they can start a conversation about the book they're reading, but I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people about the book that I'm reading. I'm very much not a social person. Oh, fun story, by the way. My dad made a friend in Busan on the You Meet Cute Korean Girlie. Brother, why would a Korean girl start talking to me in English about a Spanish book? Riddle me this. Also, I went out clubbing in Itaewon later. None of the girls liked me. All the guys really liked talking to me. No girl approached me. I was very sad. Well, not really, because I got compliment. All the guys were like, "You're the coolest guy ever. You're so." And I met a very interesting character. That's a story for later, though. That's a story for when I get to that part of the thing. Popular among the guys. That's what I'm saying. When I was out clubbing in Itaewon with my friends, one of the guys, some random like mid-20s Korean guy, looks at me in the club. He's like, "Wow, you're so tall. I want a son just like you." And that made my night. That was the greatest compliment I've ever received. That was probably enough to hold me through and like get me to keep living for the next 20 years. Your gay vibes from Red. I have plenty of gay friends besides you. I've had 2 of my gay friends explain to me the intricacies of gay sex before. And these 2 gay friends don't even know each other, so they don't even know that they explained it to me. Why'd they do that? I don't remember why. They just like kind of did it. They just kind of asked me if I wanted to know about the intricacies of bottoming, and I said sure. And they gave me the whole rundown about how if you're bottoming, you need to like watch what you eat the day before. You need to like make sure everything's all cleaned out. They'll do like an enema and all that stuff. Red, I've known some of these gay men since I was 12. I've known them for longer than you've been alive, probably. But yeah, I have plenty of gay friends. I'm not saying that as like a cope or anything. You give off gay vibes? I don't think I do. I think I give off cool guy vibes. And we all know that girls hate cool guys, but guys love cool guys. That's why, or maybe they're intimidated by me. I'll put it like that. The girls were so intimidated by my strong and powerful cool guy foreigner aura that they just didn't want to talk to me. You would totally hit on you. Cheating on what? Am I only allowed 1 gay friend? I have like 4-ish gay friends, I think. 4 or 5. Now, before you say, wait, you have more than 4 or 5 friends? I do. I have plenty of friends. Anyways, that's enough of me being a performative male and doing... Yes, it is. Hit as in fuck. What? Huh? Are you imagining? It's alright. The more cheating goes on, the less each subsequent cheating hurts. And then here's another picture I took. This is, so this is from the west side of Haeundae. Here's the boardwalk, and you keep walking along the boardwalk. First time I leave you out of words. I'm just a little bit out of practice, you know. I haven't streamed in like 3 weeks. I gotta get back into my rhythm. Isn't this picture nice? This is probably one of the better pictures I've taken. If you remove this branch out, I think this is almost a perfect tourism picture. You think girls love gay men? You're not gay enough. Okay, so I guess I'm gay enough. I'm just gay enough for other men to like me, but not gay enough for girls to like me. Okay, that's an interesting take you have. I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe I should dress more effeminately. Maybe I should start wearing crop tops and booty shorts. Maybe I should start wearing high heels. You like me? Interesting. Okay. Okay, that's fine. But you're not one of the Korean women who was. Are you a Korean woman who was clubbing but would totally support the crop tops? Honestly, do I have any crop tops? I have my American flag crop tops. What this is trying to say about me? I'm just like diving into the gay stereotypes that I could be. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm just diving into the gay stereotypes that I could be supporting, that I could be using to my advantage to present myself more as a gay male. Because, like, yeah, I'm aware that, like, not every gay guy acts femininely and, like, speaks with a lisp and whatever, everything else. But, like, if I want to present to the world that I might possibly be a gay male, I could present more femininely, you know? I'm well read on gender theory and queer literature. I've done my research regarding those things. I know what I'm talking about, kinda. Anyways, can we please appreciate the picture I took? This is such a nice picture. See the towers in the background? I think if I moved it slightly to the left so that we have a little bit less empty space here, and this is more towards the right, it would really, what's the word I'm looking for? It really follow the rule of thirds, you know? And then this is the vertical version. Why do I take vertical pictures? Maybe new potential phone lock screen. Because my phone wallpaper right now is a picture I took when I was in California 7 years ago at a beach. Looks like Everknight's nickname. What's Everknight's nickname? Red, I've still not caught up. That is perfect Instagram story. This one? Yeah, I know, right? I'm still not caught up on Honkai Star Rail. I still have to play 3.5 and 3.6. Don't spoil. Actually, you could spoil it for me. I would mind a little bit. But I wouldn't mind too much. Not from story. Oh, no. See? I'm such a good photographer. Is the nickname the community gave her? Interesting. Same picture, but now you see like the handrail. This is the part of the walkway. I guess my hand shifted while I took these two pictures. And then here's a picture of a mermaid statue. There's some legend or some mythology that around this about, like, I don't remember what exactly the plaque said, but I read it. But they have this statue of a mermaid. Because I heard it almost got canceled. They're not going to say something about the mermaid. You can see a little bit of stuff poking out, but you know, it's a mermaid, so it's in the sake of hydrodynamics that she's topless. And then here's more of the picture. You can see the other statues. Again, this statue is like a marker for ships that, like, the water gets much shallower around this area. Here's the mermaid statue. It's like further out. There was I think in walk, there's like a little section you can walk down on, so you can't exactly get close to it, but you can get closer. And then there's some buoys out here. And this is more of the island. Not the island, more of the peninsula. Another cat. This same cat. It wasn't sleeping, but it was like curled up and resting. And my sisters were taking a picture of the cat. And then I wanted to take a picture of the cat. And so I walked over to take the picture of the cat. And the cat looked at me, turned around and walked away. And I felt so disrespected. Because look, it's a stray cat. It's cute, right? But I can't see its face because it looked at me. And it just wanted to leave. It was sitting still for all the other people taking pictures, but specifically me. It has some vendetta against me. Look, it just leaves. And then we got sushi on the beach. We were really hungry. There was like a conveyor belt sushi place somewhere, and we just got takeout so we could go eat on the beach. We got some makgeolli, rice beer, and regular beer. And we drank sushi, and we drank and ate on the beach. And then my dad made a friend. There was another foreigner, some more foreigners, but this was like a Asian American couple. You're following me again? Roy, you're following me on 3 accounts. Twitch is gonna ban me. Thank you for the follow, though. I do appreciate it. Don't tell Twitch. Don't tell Twitch that you're following me on 3 accounts. Otherwise, like, they might kill you or kill me. Either way, not good. So my dad did make a friend. Kind of. Because there was while we were eating sushi on the beach, there was this young-ish Asian couple who asked us, because they're Asian American, well, Asian Canadian technically, which we found out later. And they asked us where we get the sushi from. They have like 3 young kids. And it's just like my dad and his 3 children, me and my 2 sisters. And they asked where we get the sushi. We pointed them to the sushi place, and then they're just kind of standing there, I think, waiting to get the sushi or whatever. And my dad just starts talking to them. So yeah, he made a friend. So proud of him. He's more social than I am. And then this is ice cream. This is still in the alleyway. The alleyway was very, very long. Or it was longer than expected. So this is the cookie from the beginning. This is 4828. And I got ignored by the cat. Yeah. I didn't make any friends, and I got ignored by the cat, so honestly, not my greatest social showing. So this is the cookie from the flight. This is a traditional Korean cookie called a yakwa. It's always in the shape of a flower. Apparently, according to my dad, it was used to only be eaten by the royals, but now that it's like industrialization, you have makeup inspired by those cookies. Yakwa, they're okay. Yeah, they're I like them. They're a bit. I like them less on the ice cream though, because I think I like the yakwa, I like ice cream. If I combine the 2 things, it'll be good. But then it's like the sweetness of the ice cream kind of overpowers the sweetness of the yakwa. How do you have makeup? Like, are they like stamps? Do you stamp your face with yakwa? They're good. You should get yakwa themselves and eat them, and then tell me what you think about them, because my sisters are obsessed with them now, and they're looking all over the Asian stores for them. The smell is from the cookie. Brother, I don't remember what the cookies smell like. I just remember what they taste like. You have nowhere to get them? Have you tried living near a place with a lot of Asian people? As a matter of fact, do Korean people exist in Mexico? Let me look that up. Koreans in Mexico. Oh, what the hell? I was expecting more. According to the Wikipedia article, there's about 11,800. A lot of Samsung people live in my city. Roy, you can't call Korean Samsung people. That's racist. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. There's a lot of like people who work for Samsung. 11,000 Korean nationals live in Mexico. That's actually like a tiny amount of people. There might have unironically been more Korean people in like half of my state that I live in than there are in your entire country. Hold on, let me look something up real quick. Also, every Korean person you have met here is rich, because if you're going to live in like, that has to do more with immigration. The stats for immigration tend towards if you are an immigrant, the chances statistically you are more likely to be a person of like higher economic status from before. That's why you're like have enough money to move, right? There are exceptions to this, but that's how it is generally. And also, if you live near a lot of Samsung people, Samsung is Samsung is a very, very wealthy company, shall we say. I think they make up like some absurd percentage of the GDP of Korea. And so if you live near a lot of Samsung people, I would assume that chances are that the reason they work for those factories is they're not like the ones doing the assembly line, but they are the overseers and managers and have those higher up positions. It has to be fulfilled by like a Korean national. And so they make a lot of money. Korean rich girlies are like dolls. This might be kind of unwoke of me to say, but a lot of the Korean people, when I went to Korea, look kind of the same. Their hair and skin is perfect. Brother, that's the makeup. Don't fall for the illusions. Don't fall for the illusions, Roy. They're beneath their perfect skin and perfect hair. They're made of flesh and blood, just like me and you. Who's the racist now? It's okay, Roy. I'm Korean. I'm allowed to be racist towards other Koreans. Yeah, I'm looking up the amount of Korean people in like my area. There's about, we'll just say there's more than double the amount of Korean people in my area than there are in your entire country. You know, Roy, you're allowed to be racist towards other Mexicans. I'm allowed to be racist towards other Koreans, kind of. Except I probably shouldn't be, because racism is bad. You shouldn't be racist, by the way. Racism is bad. Oh, why is this here? This. You just got allowed? You just got allowed. What do you mean you just got allowed? So this picture is because when I was moving my files from my phone onto my computer, I just kind of shift clicked, so I just selected a bunch of them. And so when I was in Korea, I tried to keep up with my Honkai Star Rail dailies. It was hard because there was like 200 ping, but it didn't matter because I just auto battle all the stuff. And I pulled for Evernight and I got her on the first 10 pull. And then this is the Sky Capsule. This is probably where I heard the most Chinese on the trip. There was a lot of Chinese tourists in Korea, and I heard a lot of Mandarin. And so, what was this? Yeah, you get in the train and they take you on like a little tour. There was some nice scenery. I didn't take too many pictures because there was a lot of trees, so by the time I can like get a good angle, there was a tree in my way and I couldn't take a nice picture. But it took you kind of on the eastern side, directions, on the western side. We were on the western side. And so the Sky Capsule takes you to the west, and apparently, I didn't know this at the time, but you had to buy a ticket to come back. So they send you one way, you buy a ticket to come back. But my sisters decided, you know what, we'll just walk it. So they booked this thing in advance. We take the Sky Capsule there, and then we get off and we walk back on foot. And I want, for the record, at this point of my trip, I've been walking an average of 15 miles a day because most of the time I'm in Seoul and Busan, I'm constantly moving. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, on day one, I did so much walking, I got a blister on my toe. But by this point in the trip, I had done so much walking that blister had hardened into a callus. And I just checked, that's what I was checking right now. I still have that callus on my foot from all the walking I did in Korea. So I'm real tired at this point of all the walking, but I just continue to do it. My legs keep moving forward. Proof? You want a picture of my gross ass toes, man? Oh wait, nope, not a callus, just a blister, and now it's dead skin. But I think at some point I checked during the trip and it had calloused over or had hardened a bit. I'm not sending pictures of my toes. You're gonna have to pay me a little extra. The ET, no. It's not all of my toes that are like ET's fingers. It's only my second toe, or the toe that's next to the big toe, that my sisters say looks like the ET finger. I refuse to. I'm too insecure about it. I'm too no proof. You just have to take my word. So this is getting into the Sky Capsule, and this is kind of the path it takes. You can see there's a lot of scenery, there's a lot of ocean, and if I remember, there was like, it takes you to I don't want to say a poorer area, but takes you through like a more residential area where there's like older houses, and on the houses you can see the big kimchi jars where people are making kimchi. Do not worry. As a very wise old man once said, your insecurities are somebody's kinks. That person was probably very wise, but I ain't showing you the toes. You gotta cough up a little bit of dough first before I show the toe. Here's the Sky Capsule path. There's not much on the left. It's just trees. Oh, here it is. So this is part of the Sky Capsule. This is one of the things. There's like older style houses with more traditional roofing, and then I think there should be a kimchi jar somewhere. No, that's just trash. Old people. Plastic chairs. What else was there? Where's the kimchi jar? I think, is there another picture? Oh, there is another picture. I swear to God, I saw a kimchi jar somewhere. One of the big things where people are making kimchi. But I think this is the same house and the same old people. And then, so I didn't take any more pictures of the Sky Capsule because the trees kept getting in my way. And then this is on the walk back. So there's like this little rock beach that you can walk down to. Here's the waves. That's water. I don't think I need to say that, but we'll say it anyways. And there is, what's over here? Did I walk all the way over here one day? No, I don't think I did. But there's like a light. Was that a lighthouse? I think that's a lighthouse. More beach stuff. So this is the other direction. So I took a picture of the left, and then this is what you see if you turn the other way. And then I did get over here because there's like a little little viewing thing where there's glass and you can look down into the ocean from above. But this was closed that day for maintenance, so I didn't get to do that, unfortunately. But here's like still more Rock Beach. And then here's the thing. So it goes out, and then over here, where this stuff is, there's a little observatory with glass where you can look down. But again, you see the little cone, it's closed. But you can still see the ocean. If you have a fear of heights, it's pretty high up. And like, if you're not careful, you can drop your phone into the ocean. So that's kind of not cool if you don't want to drop your phone in the ocean. But it's still a nice experience. Nice and breezy. Yeah, this is it. But it's closed, so I couldn't go there. Sad. Then here's another picture. Where was this? This is still walking back from the... This is walking back from the sky capsule. And I figured, ooh, I sense a photo opportunity. And it was good because the clouds came and they kind of have this nice little like muted light effect. And you can still see a lot of the city. This is a different section of the city because to get from like where is it? The train station to where we were staying in Busan, we had to take a taxi. And the taxi went over a lot of bridges because I don't know how Busan is formed, but there was, I think, I don't know if it's like a bunch of islands, but there's on the peninsula, and then there's a bunch of bridges around the peninsula to get for easier usage. And there's this one big windy bridge. And my taxi driver was speaking Korean, but I was with my dad, and he was saying, oh yeah, the taxi driver said this is a bridge where like a woman stopped their car and got off and jumped out. I'm like, what? What? Not this bridge in particular, but there was another bridge that's like windy and roller coastery that my dad said that's what the taxi driver said happened there at one point. So it's like a really infamous bridge. I was like, oh, interesting. And then another drink. Oh my God. You can see a little bit of leg. My nails are getting kind of long in these pictures. I did buy a nail clipper. I bought a nail clipper from a convenience store. It was only like, I want to say 3,000 won. And then I clipped my nails. It's very effective. I think I still have it somewhere. Well, I should. I unloaded my stuff. I put it over there on my desk or my drawer. This is just milk tea. Why is it called royal milk tea? I don't know why. It tasted just like regular milk tea. It was fine. Not my favorite. Not my least favorite. Good, but not like amazing. Oh. And then on the Haeundae beach, they have these little sections. So this wooden platform, it says busking zone. So this is one of the busking zones, and there's other ones. You just realize the cans are so tiny. No, the cans aren't tiny. I just have a large hand, Roy. This is like the size of a regular skinny can. It's just that my hand is quite large, so it makes it look smaller. That's it. They are small comparative to like American cans, but I think these are like the standard size of a can in what's it called? Let's see if we can find out some more information about this can. It says 55 mg, but I think that's about something inside of it, maybe the amount of tea in it. Does it have a measure, some volume? Well, it's 95 calories. So if you know how much, if you can find this can where you live, you can come use it to like estimate how large my hand is, I guess. How big is my hand actually? I'm kind of curious now. Where's my phone? Where'd my phone go? Did I leave it? I found my phone. I left it in a different room. So, I have an iPhone 15 length, iPhone 15 dimension. So the iPhone 15 dimensions are, it is 14.7 centimeters in height. Now if I put my iPhone at the base of my hand, then my hand is probably about, how much is that? I don't know how much that is. There's about 4 centimeters of hand sticking out. So from base of my hand to the top of my middle finger, I think my hand is about 19 centimeters, 19 or 20 centimeters. Rulers exist for a reason. I don't have a ruler with me, but I have a phone with me. Well, I didn't have it with me, but it was whatever. Anyways, point in total, I have a large hand. It's about 20 centimeters from base to top of the middle finger. Why are you making those emojis? Why are you making it seem suspicious? I'm just trying to give some accurate measurements so you can get a good measure of how large the can is. I feel, is this sexual harassment? Anyway, so this is the busking zone, and I found the most American man isn't a government worker. It isn't somebody. Yes, it is sexual harassment. You shouldn't be admitting that, Roy. This is the most American man I've ever found. He is a Korean Elvis impersonator. I'm not sure if you can tell because of his style of dress, but he's a Korean Elvis impersonator. He's singing all the classic. He's singing all the songs in English. Look at the soul on his face. Look at his expressions. He's like 50 years old, out here, kind of a little overweight, but that's okay. And he's singing Elvis songs in pretty broken English. His pronunciation wasn't the greatest, but at some point, the songs aren't about the lyrics, it's about the emotion. And what emotion I feel from this man is pure patriotism, pure love for the United States of America. I don't even know if he's ever been there. But yeah, he's got his setup, he's got his big tower, he's got his laptop to play the music with. I saw him like 3 times in Busan. Every time I saw him, I would stop and I would listen for like a good 10-20 minutes. I should have given him some money, but I didn't have a lot of won on me at the time. He was the coolest guy ever. When I grow up, I want to be an Elvis impersonator on a beach in Korea. He's my new role model. This also got me thinking that, like, I remember seeing this and thinking to myself, you know, if he was a young man now, he could probably be a pretty good VTuber. As a matter of fact, any Elvis impersonator out there could probably be a pretty good VTuber. Because if you think about it, like, you have every single Elvis impersonator out there is already living like an alter ego. They have a character that they're playing, Elvis, and they have some pre-established lore that they're trying to follow through, and they have to stay in character. So if it's like a lore-heavy VTuber you're playing, that's basically Elvis, right? So if you think about it, if you think about it logically, an Elvis impersonator would probably make a pretty good VTuber. And there's already pre-established lore there, and like pre-established character rules and songs you have to sing. And there's also the singing part as well, right? Part of being a VTuber now is like expectation is being good at singing. To be an Elvis impersonator, you have to be good at singing. So logically speaking, if you wanted to be a VTuber and you didn't want to do it from scratch, you didn't want to like come up with all the ideas on your own, logically, instead of being a VTuber, you could be an Elvis impersonator instead, and that way you get an adequate amount of training of like staying in character as well as singing and all this other stuff, and then you can make the transition. I just had that random shower thought looking at this Korean Elvis impersonator in Busan. I'm cooked. My brother in Christ, I think I'm the one that is cooking. You think I'm the dish, I'm the goddamn chef, I'm Gordon Ramsay, you know? Is this not a good point that I bring up? I think it's perfectly valid. I think it's like a 100% A-OK point. Oh, this is dinner in Busan. So this is all still on the same day. And then dinner is Chinese food. I have another friend who went to Korea. He always told me the Chinese food he wasn't that impressed with the Korean food because you can get a lot of pretty good Korean food around me, but the Chinese food was really good. But this isn't really Chinese food. This is Korean style Chinese food, which is different than American style Chinese food. And I don't know what qualifies as Chinese food in Mexico. I would imagine rice does, and there's other things. But what did we get? We got dumplings. This is, I don't remember what it's called in Korean, but it's basically like seafood and rice. It's like a seafood rice, I don't want to say stir fry, but mixture of some type. And then this is champong, so there's noodles, a bunch of seafood and vegetables in there. It's like a spicy-ish soup. This is another traditional mainstay of Korean Chinese food. And then this is like the quintessential Korean Chinese food, jjajangmyeon. The soup looks amazing. Yeah, it's good. It's spicy. It's got good heat to it. So this is like a piece of squid. There's an onion in there, carrot. What else is normally in here? Normally, if you get this other places, they'll put in like some type of mollusk in there, so like a clam or some mussels or something like that, or a shrimp. I can't remember. I think there might have been bits of fish in here as well, but it's like a spicy seafood soup with noodles. I'm not sure if you can see the noodles. They're kind of underneath the plethora of other stuff. And then this is the quintessential Korean Chinese food, jjajangmyeon. It's noodles with a black bean sauce, and there's bits of pork in there as well. I like this. I don't crave it a ton. My younger sister really likes this. My younger sister is addicted to this stuff, and then my older sister's boyfriend, we introduced him to this style of Korean Chinese food, and he constantly wants it now. He constantly wants jjajangmyeon, and then this next dish, 탕수육, are the two things that he is absolutely in love with. And don't get me wrong, they're good food, but I just don't crave them that often. So this is 탕수육. This is sweet and sour pork. So it's fried pork, and then this stuff you pour on top of it. And this is like a sweet and sour sauce. And then you eat it. And that's like the two most important parts of Korean Chinese food. Jjajangmyeon and 탕수육. It was good. This is probably... Was it better than the stuff I can get around here? Probably not. Generally speaking, if you want to find this type of food in the States, you're going to have to be pretty close to a large amount of Korean people. Or either New York City or an area with a large amount of Korean people. Because... this is pretty specific to like Korean culture, even though these are traditionally Chinese dishes. But yeah, again, it's one of those things that's like, well, if you want it, just no Korean people. Here's another picture of it once you pour the sauce on. There's like other stuff in it. Some places will have bits of like pineapple or something inside of it. And the idea is you have something deep fried, you have acidity, and you have sour, and it's a good combination. And it is. And then this is the other part of Haeundae. So this is an extension of the crosswalk. They kind of close this section off, and they have a little fountain show. I didn't take too many pictures of it. It wasn't that interesting. They just kind of put they just put the water on, and they take the water off. Oh. So this is the first of political rally that I saw in Korea. Because I'm standing here, and then after this I go walk around some more, and I hear these drums beating and this chanting. I was like, oh, is there like a festival? Is there some like local thing going on now? And I turn around, and it's these people. So you can't read these signs. They say Yoon again, and they are waving Korean flags, and then further back you'll see they're waving American flags. And you might be asking, who is Yoon? So if you're keen on world news events, about last year, Korea underwent martial law because the president called martial law. Now, who was the president that called martial law? It was some silly, stupid guy, and immediately after he called martial law, the government reassembled and took him out of power and kicked him out and sent him to jail, or basically as much of a jail as you can be sent to when you're a high-ranking politician. And these people are the people that want to put that guy back into power, because the current president of Korea is the leader of the opposition, or was voted in from the opposition party opposite this faction, which is like the far-right Korean faction. Yeah, here they're waving American flags too, and they're holding signs that say "Make Korea Great Again." And then I couldn't stop myself from laughing. I saw like old Korean women with red hats on that said, or no, holding red signs that said, "We love Trump." I'm like, lady, Donald Trump likes Kim Jong-un more than he likes you guys. I don't mean to get too political, but this is just such an absurd, like, sight to behold that I couldn't help but laugh. I don't know. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird to see that in person as an American. So, beyond that though, this is convenience store drink number like 13. So what this drink was, this is similar to the grape drink from like 100 slides ago, except it's a Asian pear. This is probably my second favorite drink because there were bits of pear in the bottom, and it was sweet and it tasted like pear as well. This is a highly recommend. Two most recommended drinks to get from the Korean convenience store: this pear juice and the grape, and like I don't want to call it grape juice, even though I think there is grape juice in it. It's like grape drink. You like the ones with bits at the bottom? Not necessarily for the bits, because the bits are kind of annoying because it's like, oh, the can still feels heavy. Oh, that's the bits that I have to fish out with my like tongue now, or like pour it up and try to get to it. You find that a little yucky? Yeah, you can ignore them then, because the bits aren't what I like about them. The flavor is good. Because I like, have you ever had an Asian pear, Roy? They're good. They're sweet, but not like overly sweet. And this is just that distilled into a can. Nope. You've never had an Asian pear? It's fine. You could probably import it to Mexico for like, I don't know, $30. Fruit was expensive there. I was looking at some of the fruit prices because there were some people selling fruit. I would say it's about similar to United States. And for that, by that I mean it must be hella expensive over there. But it's good. You should try it. Because if you've ever had, have you ever had any amount of Korean food before, Roy? Because if you've been to Korean barbecue, the kalbi, nope, you haven't. You should go to Korea. You should, before you say money, consider the following: sneaking on a plane to Korea. I actually, believe it or not, Roy, I did see Mexicans in Korea, because when I got off my Korean Air flight at Incheon Airport, they had us go through customs with people from flights from Mexico, because I was looking at the board. It said, oh yeah, this is from the Mexico City airport. This is from Monterrey International Airport ever. So I did see Mexican people. It is possible. There are flights from Mexico to Korea. So just sneak on one of those and just try to survive, and you can go to Korea. Monterrey? Did I say it? I probably said it wrong. There's one thing I've noticed though. Mexico really likes naming places after cheeses. They got Monterrey, which is like Monterrey Jack cheese is a cheese, and then they got Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a type of cheese too. You ever think about that? You ever think about why Mexico likes naming places after cheeses? And then you got Chihuahua. That's just a dog, which isn't the cheese, but you know, gotta name your places after other things. Anyways, oh, another busker. This guy is like a flaming torch thrower, I guess. He was the dog is named after the place. How are you so certain? How are you so certain? What came first, the idea of Chihuahua or the dog Chihuahua? You know? How can you say with such certainty that the dog is named after the place as opposed to the other way around? I'm just saying, you might not be so, huh? How do you know? How do you know? Isn't it entirely possible that they named the place after the dog? Alexander the Great named like 17 cities after his horse. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe the king of Chihuahua named this place after his dog. So this is a guy who is throwing flaming stuff around. Is this the video? I have a video somewhere. Oh, here's a video. He dropped it. He dropped the fiery thing, but it's okay. It's all part of his act, I think. He said something in Korean I don't understand. Oh, wow. He was pretty cool. He was pretty cool. My favorite busker still remains the Elvis impersonator. He was the coolest. And then I went to a bar, and I just kind of sat there and just to check it out for the vibe. It was a vinyl bar or something. So you write down a song you want them to play. They'll see what they have and they'll put it on and they'll play it. So I got, what is this? This is a highball. Highballs are very popular in Asia for some reason. It's just some whiskey cocktail with something else. And then I got this drink. I don't remember what was in it, but it was good and it tasted sweet. And then the stuff around it is sugar, like granulated sugar, some type of crystallized sugar, and with a cinnamon stick in it. It was very good. And then after that, after I went to the bar, I went and I got a coffee. So all the convenience stores in Korea, they have like, you can get these, what are they called? Cups of ice, and they sell bagged pouch drinks. And you can buy a pouch drink and pour it into one of the cups of ice, and you get like an iced drink. And that's what this is. This is an iced coffee. Oh no, this is the next day. So that was the end of one day. And then this is the next day. And on this day, another thing that Busan is known for is abalone rice porridge, jeonbokjuk. So if you know what kanji is, or you know what like Asian rice porridge is like, it's like that, but with abalone in it. And what's special about it is they like put all the parts of the abalone in it. They put like the guts of the abalone in it, and it makes it green. But it's apparently healthier for you. And so I bought this coffee and I decided to walk to a place. It was called Baramaru Jeonbokjuk, I think, in Busan. It was like a 20 or 30-minute walk from my hotel. And on the way, I got some nice scenery. So this was about the street where it was. I took this nice-ish picture because Asian roads are very aesthetic. Here is a similarly good picture, but there's people in it. You kind of get a nice framing. I think it's a little bit askew, actually. I have to correct that because you get this nice like building with the ocean, the people, the crosswalk. I'm very proud of this picture. I think this picture is very aesthetically pleasing to me. To me, at the very least. I don't know about anyone else, but to me, it looks good. And then this is the Jeonbokjuk. So I got so this is the rice porridge, and there's bits of abalone. So here's a bit of abalone. They give it to you with sesame seeds in it, which is like a traditional topping on a lot of different Korean dishes. And then here's all the banchan. So we have kimchi. This is a dried type of radish that's spiced and flavored. Here is another type of. Is it fermented? I think it is. It's kind of like the kimchi. It's the same type of radish, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's prepared in like a lighter way. And then what's this? I couldn't figure out what this was. I think it was like watercress that was also seasoned again because all these things are always seasoned. Or was it watercress? I remember tasting it and it had a slight like fresh herby taste. I'm pretty sure it was either watercress or chives. I can't remember which one though. And then this is the soup. It was very good. It was light, hearty. It was subtle flavors. It had a nice hint of oceanness without being too fishy. And the abalone was very nicely prepared. So abalone, when you have it raw, so another thing that you eat, another way to prepare abalone is to prepare it as raw, as like sashimi. That's one way to eat it. And when you eat it as sashimi, there's like a chewy part and there's a part that's not chewy. But when you cook it, it gets a lot softer. And so when I bit into the abalone here, it was very soft and tender and had a nice flavor to it. I would say this is a good like 8 out of 10 meal. Good price. I paid like 12,000 won for this. You get the banchan. I was eating alone by myself in this nice little restaurant. I would have taken a picture of the restaurant. It's very cozy. There was also a decently long line as well. There was a lot of people that seemed to like really want to come to this restaurant, but I got there pretty early, so I was seated quickly and ate my meal and got out. Oop. And then I took another picture. So this is from the opposite side because I took pictures from. No, this is from the same side as from the Mipo Sky Capsule. Same picture, but now. Oh, is this the same pier I was at before? I think this might be the same pier I was at before from the night pictures, but now it's like not morning, but midday. And so you get a much more clear view of like the coastline and all the other parts of Busan. And then this is the opposite side of the pier. This is like a fish market or something, and then this was around where the Sky Capsule was, I believe. And then I took a picture of an old man fishing because why not? I figured if I'm going to show these pictures on stream, I might as well take a picture of a guy who's fishing. I can say this. I can pretend that this is me because it's like an old man and he has a big rod and he's fishing with it, you know. And this is convenience store drink number 3000. What is this? It's another rice drink. It's the same or it's a similar type of rice drink from the first rice drink, but like a different brand. This says Biran Shike. Yeah, Biran Shike. So Shike is the name of the rice drink in Korean. Again, it's like kind of sweet. There's some grains of rice on the bottom or inside of it, and you go and it tastes good. And then this was this dinner or lunch? I think this was lunch. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that Busan is known for. The milmyeon. It's a wheat noodle. So Korea has a bunch of different types of like cold noodles or noodles that are served cold in like a cold broth that are iced. So this white stuff on here that's around the egg, this is ice because it's supposed to be eaten like ice cold. Naengmyeon is like the traditional one, and then this is another one, milmyeon. The difference between this and naengmyeon is that naengmyeon I think is made of arrowroot flour or some other or buckwheat flour, and this is made of wheat flour. And it was good. You get an egg. It's kind of the same thing as naengmyeon, except the noodles are made of a different grain. So this is, oh no, this is the bibimbap, and then this is the regular milmyeon, because this one comes without broth, but it has like spicy paste that you mix together, and then this one has the soup. And you got more mandu, more dumplings. Lots of food pictures. And then another thing that we saw a lot. So I think this is like day 2 or 3 of being in Busan. Yeah, day 2. I think this is day 3 of being in Busan. In that alleyway where all the food shops are, I would always go there and walk around. And when I was with my sister, one of the things that we saw a lot of was there's this stall that was always had a long line outside of it. So you looked at what they're selling, and this is what they're selling. So what this is halme pajan. It's a seafood pancake. Korea has a lot of like, or there's a lot of Korean foods that are like savory pancakes, right? So a very common one is kimchi pajan. But this is halme pajan, which halme just means seafood. So there's some octopus here, I think, or squid. There should be some bits of like clam and shrimp there as well. And it's all mixed together with a batter and what's this word for the scallions. And so that was what the crowded stall was selling. So me and my sister wanted it, so we got it. We split this. And the way you eat it is with soy sauce. So what's not shown here is me putting soy sauce on this. But it was really good. It was very hot when they gave it to us because I guess the main draw of the stand was that they were making it fresh, so you could see the lady kind of put the batter on the hot flat iron grill and kind of mix everything around. And then they had like a cultural festival thing going on. They had some type of lots of performances going on throughout the day. So this was on Friday. I think it was happening like Saturday, Sunday or something. And so this was one of them. It's just a bunch of guys putting blocks and balancing and moving around on the thing. It was cool. It was interesting, I guess. But I thought they would do more flips and jumps onto the balancing stuff, but they didn't. So I'm a little sad about that. It was still an interesting performance. Oh, and then the other performance took place later. It was interpretive dance. And that's what this is. I got to watch some interpretive dance people. It's like modern contemporary dance mixed with classical music, because right now they're playing a Bach piece. But then after the Bach piece, they played like a Hans... I don't know if it was like an original composition, but it sounded like a Hans Zimmer piece. And that was just a piece of it. I think you can see the name of what it's called there. OMG, interpretive dance in the wild and not on TikTok. Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly interpretive. I think the word they used when they were introducing is like, or when I looked up what this was, is like modern dance, contemporary dance. It was interesting because there was a lot of like contrast between motion and stillness and like smooth motion versus jagged motion. As an exploration of like movement, it was interesting. And I guess that's really what modern dance is, in the same way that like modern contemporary classical isn't really classical music, but an exploration of what music is. Right? So this is probably the more boring part of the performance, but the later parts of this performance were very interesting. They were having a lot of technical difficulties at first, I remember, but then they got it all sorted out. And what do you mean not on TikTok? I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know what you mean by interpretive dance that's not on TikTok. Do people make fun of it or something? I'd imagine they do. I'd imagine that when you don't understand something, the first instinct is to make fun of it. But like, if you try to intellectually engage with interpretive dance, it seems interesting. And so this is probably my favorite meal of the trip. So this is Korean barbecue, kind of. This isn't the traditional Korean barbecue. What you should notice here is that these are not traditional cuts of meat. So normally in Korean barbecue, you get like galbi, bulgogi, different parts of pork as well. Galbi is beef short rib. And then bulgogi, I guess that could be taken from most places of the cow, but it's normally pieces of meat, right? The muscle of the animal. This is what's called a gopchang. I don't know. It's entrails. This is the intestines. This is the, I think it's more specifically like parts of the small intestine and stomach of the cow. And it was really good. I liked it a lot. So they cook it. It came in a bigger form and then they cut it up. And then you can see there's certain parts that you're supposed to... So there's, what is this? Scallions you can eat it with. And then there's seaweed, some quail eggs. It's gopchang. Gopchang? I don't remember. And it's the intestines. They also have other stuff. So another like popular type of entrail, another type of offal. I think they're called OFFAL. That's popular to eat. It's called makchang, and that's the anus of the animal. And something to notice here again is when I'm eating with my family, I'm drinking soju now instead of beer because my dad figured, wait a minute, it's more economical to get soju versus beer because the beer is like 4,000 won for 500 milliliters, whereas the soju is also like 4,000 won, but you get more alcohol per cost. So it's more cost effective in terms of alcohol to money ratio. And that's what my dad figured, so he starts buying soju instead of beer. And I don't want to let my dad drink alone, so I drink with him. And yeah, here's garlic, and it's still Korean barbecue, but like the entrails. This is my favorite meal because all of these entrails, they tasted like the good fatty parts of meat, you know? The fatty parts of the meat are like my favorite parts of meat, and this is like purely that, pretty much. And then this is another thing. So this is like the same thing, but it's like a soup, and they have more entrails in it, and they give you noodles and like sesame leaves with it. And that's more of it. And it was also really good. And then this is dessert round 2. It's the same thing from before, but instead of the agua that I got a piece of honeycomb with my ice cream. Oh, and then this was the last day in Busan as well, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So this was the last meal in Busan. And then we went to Jeju. So Jeju, if I'm going to be honest, I don't want to say Jeju was disappointing, but I think we were in Jeju too long. I think I could have done one less day in Jeju, one more day in Seoul. Because Jeju was fun. It was interesting. It was a beautiful place with a lot of like really cool stuff, and the food was really good. But the part that I didn't like about Jeju is where we were staying. Basically, if you wanted to go anywhere, you needed a car. So we rented a car, and my dad got his international driver's license for that stuff. But we couldn't I couldn't abandon my family to go roam the streets of Jeju like I could in Seoul or Busan, because we stayed in an Airbnb, and in order to get from the Airbnb to the city where we were, Sungwipo, or around the closest city, it was like an hour walk. I didn't really feel like walking an hour. So this was the first meal in Jeju, and it was kind of like a soba noodle type of thing. It was a noodle, and the broth wasn't hot; it was warm, and it tasted like soba. And it came with, let me see if I have more pictures of it. Yeah, it came with this stuff, which is like tempura. So this long thing is fried fish. It's galchi. It's a belt fish, I think it's called. And then this is like a fried pepper. What is this? A squash. And I think this is another fish. No, this is not a fried pepper. This is a fried leaf. This is a tempura fried sesame leaf, I think. Another fried fish, and then a piece of squash. And I got the tempura dipping sauce and the thing. The noodles were very good. This is a good meal. Would have again. I would eat all these meals again. And this is what my sister got. It's kind of the same thing that I got with the tempura, except it's more like bibimbap. So it's like it's mixed with the sauce and the vegetables and the tempura. Then this is what who got this one? Either my dad or my mom got this one. No, either my dad or my sister got this one. This was, I think, similar to this, except it doesn't come with the tempura. I don't remember. And then this is a cafe. So we didn't make it to the Airbnb yet because like check-in was later. So we were just kind of driving around looking for things to do. We went to a cafe, and they had this really nice oceanside cafe with a nice view. So it's like Asian style cafe. So they have a bunch of pastries that you take a tray and you put on the plate, and then you pay for the pastries and you can go eat them. And they had this outdoor seating, which was like overlooking the ocean. It wasn't like directly over the ocean. So for example, here, there's like a little walkway beneath. But they have these chairs so you can sit and just look at the ocean. And you can look at the back of my dad's head over here if you want to. But this is the cafe. It was good views, scenic. They had some fancy lattes as well. I think there's a picture of them. These are the two pastries that we got, because we had just eaten lunch. We weren't super hungry. These pastries were quite large. This is like a black sesame. What is this? Some black sesame pastry with like nuts. And this is like a green tea matcha pastry with the stuff on top is red bean. I think that's a chestnut on top as well. Like red bean with pistachio matcha pastry. There was something about this one. I think it was on the inside. I think this had parsley in it as well. It had some herb in there, which I wasn't expecting. It threw me a bit off. And this one was just very dense. It wasn't quite bready. It was more like mochi than it was bread. This was the one that I liked better. Yeah, so here is this edge here. Below there's a walkway, and here is that walkway. As you can see that there's like the little cabana from before. And I don't know how you get to the walkway because there weren't any stairs. But it's basically just a little path you can walk and look at the ocean from. It was nice. Oh, same picture. Why is this picture so much different from this one? Did I apply a filter or something? I don't use filters when I take pictures. I don't know what happened here. And then these are the fancy drinks we got. I got this is like an sweet potato latte, a black sesame latte, and like this is mugwort. This is not matcha. So what is mugwort? I don't really know what mugwort is. But I know it's used a lot in Korean stuff. It's like a herb. It's an herb, basically. They crush it up. They make rice cakes with mugwort sometimes as well. Mugwort duck. Got some name in Korean that I don't know, but that's what I know it in English as. And this is mine. These are both iced. This one's hot because my sisters wanted iced for some reason. And then this is a picture of a bug. So this is on the wall to the Airbnb. I don't know why I took a picture of it, but it looked neat. There was another surprising thing. There was a lot of bugs. I feel like there was more mosquitoes in Jeju than there were in the entirety of Seoul. Because before Jeju, I had a couple mosquito bites here and there from walking around a lot outside of Busan. But after Jeju, my legs and arms were covered in bites. I was itchy all the time. I should have brought some type of like hydrocortisone cream or some type of anti-itch. And then this is like the view from the Airbnb. Because we have I say Airbnb, but it's not like an Airbnb in the traditional sense where you're just staying at some guy's house. The owner owned a cafe that was like somewhere off over on this side next to the Airbnb. And then this section that we were in, there were 3 different rooms that were basically all dedicated for like guests. And so we stayed in like the largest one because there's 4 of us. And the car we rented goes down here. And then this is day 1. So we stayed on the southern side of Jeju, near a city called Seongwipo. And so we drove into Seongwipo for dinner, and we stopped by. They have a large, I don't want to call this like a traditional market. I did go to quite a few traditional markets in Korea, but this isn't like traditional, I guess. I guess in some senses it is, because they are doing all the selling of random things like fish and fermented goods and other restaurant-y things. Because there were also a lot of like street foodish stalls, but we got dinner at a sashimi place. So the sashimi we got was a bit of everything. We got a lot of food. We got a lot of raw fish. This I think is I don't know what fish this is, but I ate it. It tasted good. They had like some type of acidic vinegar with cabbage underneath it. It was good. They gave us eggs. This is myeokguk. This is a seaweed soup, Korean seaweed soup. This is, you can find anywhere in Korea pretty much. I think they give it to women who have just given birth because it's supposed to be like good for you or something. This is some like stir fry of shrimp and onion and pepper and like a slightly sweet sauce. It was all right. And then this is a fish head. It's a braised fish head that you eat the meat off of, the bones of. It was also good. All this food was good. And then this is an egg. This is like Korean style steamed egg. Also very good. But this is none of the sashimi yet. So there's a close-up of the fish head. Why? I don't know. Why not? This is some of the sashimi. So these 2 things are abalone. This is some part of the abalone. This is another part of, this is a whole abalone. And then this is shrimp. You can pretty see that quite clearly. I don't know if it was cooked. I'd imagine it was like partially cooked. And then this is what's called, so let me see if I can look it up real quick. It's called sea pineapple. If you look up sea pineapple, that's what this is. The Korean word for it is like manga, sea pineapple food. And it's I don't really know what kind of animal it is, It's a sea squirt, and it's eaten primarily in Korea, where it's known as monge. That's what it is. It tasted good. It tasted like the ocean, but without the fishiness of the ocean, if that makes any sense. A lot of these you can eat with soy sauce if you want, or you can use where is it? Red pepper paste, gochujang. I use gochujang. Why? Because I don't know. It tasted good with it because you have like the spiciness and the acidity of the gochujang with the vinegar to fight off some of the fishiness, and also it's a good flavoring. And then this is more of that. This is one part of it, and then we got more of it. So this is more abalone. This is still monge, the sea pineapple. And then what's over here? I think this is like some type of sea snail or some type of thing that lives in the ocean and lives in the shell, and they take it out and you eat it raw. That's the best way I can describe this stuff. And then on the other side over here, this is a part of the sea pineapple, I think. It's not exactly edible, but you can like chew on it and get a little meat off of it. And then in addition to all this food, you get corn cheese. And corn cheese is exactly what it sounds like. It's just like corn out of a can, and you put cheese on it. And it's very popular in Korea for God knows what reason. Is it good? It's okay. I have a friend in the States who loves this stuff. Every time we go out to a place that is vaguely Korean and they have this on the menu, he'll order some. And I try it every time. Like, I don't understand the obsession. It's good. It's fine. But like, compared to all the other food you could be eating instead of corn cheese, why would I eat corn cheese, you know? And then here's more sashimi. So this is the one of these is mackerel. I'm pretty sure this one's mackerel on this side. This is the galchi, the belt fish. This is fluke, I'm pretty sure. And I don't remember what the rest of this stuff. These are all some certain type of fishes that I've been eating. Basically, I ate like an entire ocean's worth of fish in this one meal because that's all they do. They just give you fish after fish after fish. And then the finale of all of this is they give you all of this fish and they feed you all the different parts of the fish. And then they bring you a soup that's made with the broth of the broth of it is made of the leftovers of the fish that they killed and gave to you, right? So there's like fin, other stuff. There's still meat on these bones, a little bit of meat on them. Most of it's been stripped off for the sashimi, but they make this spicy soup out of the leftover stuff and they serve it to you. And that's the meal. And it was delicious. It was great. Probably my second favorite meal after the gopchang. And it's got all these herbs in it too, and they bring it out to you on like a portable stove. And then there's the cat. So there's more cats because there was more. I saw a few stray cats in Busan, but most of the stray cats I saw were in Jeju. This cat was just hanging outside of the sashimi store that we just ate at, the sashimi restaurant. And so the owner came out or someone who worked at the sashimi store came out and threw the cat some pieces of fish. That's what that is. The cat gets a little bit. And I zoomed in a little bit, you can see more of the fish, or more of the cat eating the fish. And then when we got to the Airbnb, the owner of the Airbnb said that he bought us a cake because he owns like a cafe that's next to it. That's also, every cafe in Korea is also kind of like a patisserie, or they also sell pastries as well. And that's what this is. I didn't try any because I didn't feel like having any cake, but my sisters said it was good. I'll take their word. I'm not a big fan of cake. I have a bit of a sweet tooth, but not like the biggest fan of it. Oh yeah, I bought this, so there was a lot of mosquitoes. So I bought this, what is this, bug repellent? And then we never ended up using it. And then this is some random island that I could see from outside the Airbnb. More stuff, more pictures. Snail. Ooh, so now, second day of Jeju, we don't really know what to do, so we're just kind of like looking for things to do. There's a bunch of like natural landmarks, natural landscapes, natural stuff going on. They're like marked around. So this is one of them. It's just a waterfall, but it was very nice. It's very beautiful. You didn't have to pay to go to see it. And there's the pathway to it. So where is this actually? This is on the path to the waterfall, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The waterfall's over here, and there's this big long staircase, big long stair spiral. that leads down to the waterfall. And this is like the picture that I'm taking. And here's more of the part down to the waterfall. There was some lady selling stuff. I don't remember what they're selling. Probably fish. And then there's the waterfall. You can't get too close to it. Oh, you kind of can, but they have a little thing that says do not enter. Here is another waterfall picture. It's a lot bigger than it seems. It seems kind of small here, but IRL it was much, much larger. And there's a lot of rocks, so you have to like be careful where you step. Otherwise you're gonna like twist your ankle and fall, and you won't die, but you'll hurt because it's all rocks and they're all jagged. Not jagged, but they're all like kind of askew. And then for some reason near the waterfall, there's a bunch of these stacked rocks. I don't know if this is like a good luck thing or like a ward or something, but there was a lot of stacked rocks, so I took a picture of them. And here's the waterfall. Look how beautiful it is. The natural beauty of Jeju Island. I can see a little bit of a rainbow in my thing as well. Wow. More waterfall. More waterfall. More waterfall. This guy got in my picture. If he wasn't in this picture, my picture would be so good. But it's okay. We forgive and forget. And then the next place we went to was a tuft cone. There's like some type of volcanic formation because Jeju is like a volcanic island. There's a big volcano in the middle of the island called Halasan. The lava that flows out made the island or something like that. And so this is one of the volcanic formations as well. It's a big thing. Here are pictures of the Jeju countryside, I guess. I kept trying to get pictures of it as we were driving there out of the car window, but I couldn't get the angle right. And every time I tried to take the picture, the tree would get in my way. So here we are at long last. There's a hike that apparently goes all the way to the top of the cone, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to look down and see what's inside the cone. But I think you have to pay for it. And at this point, my sisters and my dad were really tired from all the walking. And so like, nah, we won't do it. Later, we learned that it was only like a 30-minute walk, which is completely doable, even being very tired. But overall, it's like, that's the one thing I regret not doing. I wanted to do this walk because there's a path that leads all the way up to the top. And then the middle is like kind of cratered. I think I read that they used to like grow stuff in there, that people used to live in there and grow stuff. Now, I don't know. Now I'll never know it's in the middle of the big tuft cone. It was called Songsan Ilcheongbo. And one little plaque said it was the best place to watch the sunrise because it's the easternmost part of Jeju Island. More pictures. And then, in addition to this, there's this little alcove of the ocean here. Oh, where's my... So this is the little alcove. There's a little, like, mini beach down there. And then they also have... If you see there's a boat there, let me see if I have a better picture of it. So this is still along the side of the tuft cone, alongside the tuft cone. Yeah. Here, more to the left, this is where they do like the cultural performance of the Hanayon. These are the women divers who go and dive for seafood and stuff. They go and dive for, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically shellfish. They pick things up. It's called a Hanayon. Let me look it up real quick. Hanayon. Haenyo. Women divers. Haenyo. Yeah, Haenyo. Something like that. And they basically just, they dive without oxygen tanks. They've been marked as like a cultural heritage part. They're super important, and they're all really old women. They are older than 60, and some are older than 80. Traditionally, girls started training as Haenyo when they were 11 years old, beginning in shallow, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they just dive deep underwater without any oxygen tanks, and they have a little cultural performance there. So this is on the shore. So this next picture, this stuff, is after I walk down here and I take pictures of them. Here's the boat. So this section is this part over here. There's a big long staircase leading down there. And walking down was fine. Walking up was a lot more challenging. But the worst part about this big staircase leading from up here to down here, or from up here to down here, is all these fucking people were taking pictures. So every time couldn't just like walk down and just continuously walk. I'd have to walk. There'd be some couple trying to take a nice Instagram picture or whatever, some social media picture. I have to wait. I have to be polite. I have to be like, oh yes, it's not a bother at all to me that you're taking 17 minutes to take this picture that nobody is going to care about in 2 weeks time. I must wait. I must be a polite, civilized member of society. And that was the worst part, because it's a long walk and it's made longer by the fact that you have to stop every 2 seconds. Anyways, rant over about couples taking couple pictures for their stupid ass social media pictures. More, so this is the wide version. The boat is, so this is like where they collect the shellfish, the mollusk. There's a lot of crowds here. The performance hasn't gone on yet at this point. It takes place, if I remember correctly, at like 3, and so I'm just walking around looking at everything. I took a lot of pictures. This is still the tuft cone. This is from the ocean side of the thing, I guess. And then here is this section. So this is like the peak of the tuft cone, and I'm like scanning across. There's this section. It's really big. It was awesome in like the biblical sense of the word awesome, as like something that has as something with some awe in it. You know what I mean? It was like terrifying in the biblical sense. It's like amazing. This is my favorite piece of natural stuff that I saw. Probably. I want to climb it. There's also a Halasan hike, so a hike up the volcano that Jeju is formed by. But that hike is a lot longer, and apparently I think my sisters looked it up. It's like a challenging hike as well, and I don't exactly have the greatest mountaineering gear, the best hiking gear, considering I'm wearing like shoes older than the planet Earth itself. And again, lots of walking, lots of elevation shift. Not sure if I'm prepared for that. More pictures. So there's these shelves of rock in the water. Some dead jellyfish I found in this place. Another dead jellyfish. The same jellyfish. This is still a picture from the same area. I walked a bit further down the coast and I just took another picture. Same. This is a different observation deck. This island is... So from Jeju, there was also like another island. There's a smaller island off the coast of Jeju that you can visit. I think it's called... They're famous for their peanuts. It's like Edo Island peanuts or something. I think this is Edo. I think that's what this is. And then this is the other way. This is more of Jeju. This is lunch. So what did I get? I got the hedopbap, but with galchi. So this is basically like bibimbap, but instead of like mixed vegetables, you still get the vegetables. You get fish instead. And you put a little gochujang and you mix it up. And then this is the abalone fried rice. So this is abalone still with rice and what is it? Some type of rice, abalone, and more things. They served a version of this at the sashimi place as well. Basically anywhere on the coast of Korea, the famous things are like abalone and fish. And this is the Hanayo performance. They do this little like chant thing. I think it's like a good luck chant, good luck dance for a bountiful harvest or something. And then they go off and they dive and they go look for food, basically. That's basically what this is. So sometimes they find good things, sometimes they don't. Or this is the first one that came back. They climb back onto the thing. They find what is this? I don't know what this is. This is like sea snail, some type of snail, some type of, again, it's a thing that lives in the shell, that lives in the ocean. And you can eat it raw. So this is her cleaning it, cutting it up, cleaning it, preparing it. And that's what it looks like, the finished product. It's not abalone, because the shell isn't an abalone shell. It's like some type of sea snail or something. I think I have a picture. Yeah, I have a picture, video. She takes it out of the shell and then cuts it. This is stuff that you literally just picked out of the ocean. Which to me as an American is very disconnected from like the whole processing of your food. Is an amazing ordeal, no? How long is it? How long? But this is basically all it is. It's just the butchering and cleaning of basically what could be eaten as sashimi, because you can just eat this as sashimi. Oh, so after we visited this Songsan Ilchibang, we went to, what is it called? We just kind of drove around looking for more things to do. This is what I mean when I say we could have spent one less day in Jeju, because a lot of the things in Jeju that to be done, you need to like arrange do beforehand. There's not as much exploring to do. And so for now, we're just kind of driving around looking at beaches, and we found like this small beach. And this is from the other side. So before, this stuff was over on the other side of the big Tufco. Now we're on like the more inland part, looking at it from the east, I guess. And it's not exactly like a super touristy beach. It's just this nice little part where you can sit and go into the water. And then this is Jeju specialty number 2, I guess, the black pork. So Jeju is famous for like basically black pigs, and they apparently taste really good. They apparently taste much better than a regular pig. What's the difference? It just tasted like pork to me. Tell the Jeju people who said that though. So this is what this is. This is Korean barbecue. You can dip after the pork cooks, you can put in the salt, or you can eat it with as a wrap with the samjang, or you can eat it with wasabi, or you can dip it in. This is like a katsu sauce. But the thing with the black pork is they are black, but in the past, what they fed the pigs is they used them as part of pig toilets. Basically, you would set it up so when you poop, the droppings, the fecal matter of humans drops into the pigsty, and then the pig eats the poop. And that's how they used to, that's what they used to feed the specialty Jeju black pigs. But now they don't do that anymore. Probably. I hope not. They still, when they sell them for more now, it still tastes good. My younger sister really liked this meal. We had this twice. We had this 2 days in a row because we couldn't decide what to eat one day. So we had exactly this twice, but the exact same way. It was delicious. It was great. It tasted like regular pork to me though. In order to like get a proper comparison, I would probably need to have regular pig and the black pig. I'd have to do like some type of double blind taste test. This is what it looks like cooked. What is this picture? I don't know. Then after that, I went and I searched for snacks to have at the convenience store. Why? Because I want to. You're falling in and out of sleep? Just go to sleep, man. I only have... How many more pictures do I have, actually? Let me see. So this is picture number... Where are my stuff? Document. This is picture 5002. I only have a total of 5,126 pictures, but you missed. It's okay, I'll stream again on Saturday. I actually put out a schedule for the first time in like 6 months. I'm streaming again on Saturday. I have like 100 more pictures to get through. Some of them are going to be the same, but this is the picture. I don't know why I took a picture of this. I didn't end up buying this snack. I think that's Mimikyu. But it's like they have a lot of Pokemon stacks. Saturday is too long. It's only in like 4 days, man. And then here's more snacks. Oh no, oh no, oh no. My toes are protected, but you can see my sister's feet. Look, Red. Here's some consolation for you staying awake for so long. You can look at my sister's toes. And then you can look at my toes with my socks on. These are the snacks that I ended up buying. Ew, yeah, I know. Feet are gross. I got so this is like a sweet potato flavored breadstick, kind of. At least her toenails are clean. Yeah, I would hope her toenails are clean. She's one of those people that... I don't know if that's my younger sister's foot or my older sister's foot, but both of them are like care about their nails. Rabbit approved. Interesting. I'll let them know a stranger on the internet approves of their feet, and then they'll ask you, why are you showing people on the internet feet pictures? Don't worry about it. So these are the snacks I ended up getting. These are sweet potato flavored breadsticks, kind of. They're kind of like breadsticks. These are my favorite snack. They're toenail. Interesting. Interesting. Well, you don't approve of their feet. I'm gonna tell them that a stranger on the internet doesn't approve of their feet, and they're gonna yell at me even more then. And then this is like I don't know what this is, but I was really disappointed. Nestle's some nasty ass shit. Don't tell me. I get grossed out easily. I was really disappointed with this snack because it says level 3 extra spicy. It's got like the inferno on it. It's got some guy crying. And I open this snack and I eat it and it's not spicy at all. I don't mean like, oh, it had some heat, but I've eaten a lot of spicy food so I can handle it. I mean like I opened this, it tastes like a potato chip. Unless there's no feet. There's like toe. It's just toes. That's the best. Some people, if you think about it, toes are like the nipples of the feet to a foot fetishist. Kinda. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that one, but we'll pretend that made sense. Sick. And then this is basically candy. It's just grape flavored candy, and it was delicious because it just tasted like the Eastern style grape flavoring that I know and love so much. And this I got purely for nostalgic reasons. Busha, it says Busha Busha. What it is like, so you know how instant ramen has the dry noodles and the flavor packets, but you're not supposed to eat the dry noodles, you need to cook it? This is a snack where it's designed to look like the dried noodles, but you're supposed to eat it. And they have like a flavor packet, so it like is like dry, like you're eating raw ramen, but you're not eating raw ramen. You know what I mean? And the reason this is nostalgic for me is because while I was in elementary school, there was a kid who would always bring some to snack time for lunch. I'd always try to trade him something for it because it was so good. It was like the most delicious thing I've ever eaten. It was filled with like salt and MSG, and it tasted so delicious. And it had that forbidden allure of eating the ramen noodles raw, even though these are meant to be eaten raw because they're not made of the same thing. So I got it at the convenience store, and you can get this at H Mart or any of your local Asian grocery stores. I was just too lazy to ever go out and buy them. And I put the flavoring packet and I shake it up like I used to, and I punch it and all that other good stuff. It doesn't taste the same. It tastes different. Maybe they changed the formula or I got the wrong flavor, but it didn't hit the spot that it did when I was like 5 years old. And then another part here is, so at the Airbnb where I was staying, there was a pool, but you had to pay extra to use it, and we didn't use the pool. So in the pool, there's this bug chilling, and I thought it was kind of cool, so I took a picture of it. And then here's just two best friend bugs just chilling 2 feet apart, you know? Me and who? Just these two beetles chilling on a lily pad or some type of leaf in the pool. Living the life, honestly. Living the life. If I couldn't be myself, I'd want to be one of these two beetles that are just like vibing. Here they are again. I don't know why I took so many pictures of them. It's just also. You got C6 Monado and 40 pulls. Monado, who's Monado? Zenless Zone Zero. Congratulations. Wait, C6? How'd you get C6 and 40 pulls? I haven't kept up with Zenless Zone Zero, but I know enough about like how unlikely that is to be like, what the fuck? How'd you get C6? That's actually insane, no? That's actually insanely lucky. You should have spent all of your luck on you have 3 copies in one 10 pull. Was that the pity 10 pull or was that just the regular 10 pull? Regular 10 pull, 3 of them. Brother, you should have spent your luck on the lottery instead of ZZZ, because if you spend your luck on the lottery, you win $1 billion. Then you can spend as much money as you want on gacha. And then this is my first Asian McDonald's experience. You did make a mistake. What mistake did you make? So this is my first Asian McDonald's experience. You did a 10 pull for his weapon, and then what? Nothing? Probably nothing, right? You were too lucky. You used up all of your luck on pulling 6 copies, I guess 7 copies or 6 copies. You got the limited 5-star character weapon. Oh, wait, is Monado not a... Oh, he's not S rank. Okay, I thought he was a 5-star. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's okay, not as lucky. Still lucky, not as lucky. You got the limited 5-star character weapon. Don't you know the cardinal, the first rule of gacha? Don't pull on the banner unless you want the limited characters. So you don't have to pull it. It could be the case where they make like the limited weapon and then they make the limited weapon better on a future character as opposed to the current character. So here's my first Asian McDonald's experience. I got the mega pepperoni pizza burger. It was basically like 4 patties with this, with like marinara sauce and pepperoni, and a large fries because I was a hungry boy. And I gotta say, the Asian McDonald's does hit differently than American McDonald's. The limited character is cracked for rupture characters. I don't remember what I read. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I stopped playing ZZZ. I couldn't keep up with everything. There were so many things to do. I can keep up with Honkai Star Rail pretty easily because I can auto battle the domains. Monado is rupture. So think of, yeah. So if you pull the rupture character, you're pulling for your husbando. You know, you're pulling for Monado instead. You see? You see? Everything comes back to just pulling better things from Monado. If you pull for something that's good for rupture and Monado is rupture, then anything that improves rupture improves Monado. So you can justify this in your head. It's not a waste. It's not a waste. Pull out the credit card, Red. Go into debt. Sell your kidneys. Give everything to Hoyo. So the Asian McDonald's pull up no credit card. You're close to pity. Pull for the pity, and then you gotta build pity for the next limited banner. The Asian McDonald's does hit different because I ate this big ass burger and I felt like I could eat another. Honestly, it felt much lighter. If I were to eat something of this size in America, I think I would feel a bit too greasy. But it felt, considering that this was like a large burger, I felt quite light. It's okay. What if you losing the 50-50 is good though, because you didn't want the 5-star character to begin with. And so you're just guaranteeing the next 5-star character you want, you know? If you win, you improve Monado. Asian McDonald's uses healthy ingredients. I don't know what healthier means, man. A burger's a burger to me. I could kind of tell. I did feel healthier eating Asian McDonald's, but I've never like looked at the ingredients list of a McDonald's. That does kind of make sense. And then the next like touristy spot we went was so in 2002 the World Cup took place jointly between Korea and Japan, and so they built a big soccer stadium in Jeju, and that's what this is. This is the Jeju Soccer Stadium. I'm not sure if we were allowed inside like this because the gate was closed and it had a lock on it, but the lock was unattached, so we just kind of snuck in and I took this picture. I'm not sure if they even use the stadium anymore. I would assume they do for like big events. And then here's like convenience store drink number 43. Chilsung cider. It's just Korean Sprite. This is literally Korean Sprite. It tastes exactly like Sprite. And this is another beach we found. So this beach we saw one day, this day, and then we went back to the day after, and actually like spent some time and what's the word I'm looking for? Spent some time and like went swimming and all that good stuff. So there's the path down and then there's the beach. It was much more crowded on the second day, but it's still quite nice. There's this kind of steep hill that you have to climb up though. Oh no. You can see my dad. So this is the length of the beach. Big spider. I don't know why I took a picture of this spider, but it was at a bus station and I took a picture because it was so freakishly large. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Get it out? Okay. Another snack. We bought more snacks. One of the snacks we bought... No, so we went to E-Mart, which is like Korean Walmart, and we bought snacks. These are tiramisu almonds. So what they are they're almonds covered in like tiramisu. They're almonds covered in like tiramisu flavoring. Gotta be honest, they weren't that good. The tiramisu flavoring was like too thick. I wanted more almond in it, and it didn't taste heavily enough of tiramisu. Also, if you look in the background, you'll see my luggage, and you'll see a little bit of my toe. So I'm gonna cut that out right now. Oh no, you can see my... I'm really bad at packing. Anyways, this is the lewdest picture of the entire selection because you can see my underwear, my hands, and a little bit of toe. Don't tell anyone. That's a specialty. And this is the next meal. This was breakfast of the next day. I think this was breakfast of the last day in Jeju. It's more kalguksu. So this is what we had in Busan. But in Busan, I had halme kalguksu, so it had seafood in it. This one has like bits of shredded beef in it. And I don't want to say it's the same thing, but it's like It's kalguksu just means knife cut noodles. They cut the noodles with a knife. That's the defining characteristic. This one has beef instead of seafood. Oh, more spider. And then more drinks, more random drinks that I have. So this time I bought 2 drinks. I bought rooibos tea because it looked interesting, because I didn't know what rooibos was. Apparently rooibos is like some type of root, or it's some type of plant that's native to South Africa, and it's like refreshing. I can't remember what it tasted like. No, it tasted like, hold on, it tasted like this jelly, this Chinese jelly. Black. You know grass jelly, right, Red? That's what this tasted like. This tasted like the Chinese grass jelly, but without like the simple syrup on top of it, but like in drink form. And then this is just one of those varieties of Asian convenience store coffees in a can that I got because I'm just a caffeine addict. I'm a fiend for the fiend. And then this is, what is this? Did I eat this? I don't remember what this is, but it's a snack. I can't remember if I ate it or if I just took a picture of it because my sisters bought it. But it's there. So this is the beach day. Another nice thing about Korea, I guess this is Asian convenience stores in general, and Asia in general, is all the Asian convenience stores always have a well-stocked alcohol section, and you can drink in public in Asia. That's probably that's another great part about it. So these are 2 beers that I bought from Jeju, and the convenience store Jeju. They're from some local brewery. So Songsan Ilchubang, this is the volcanic tuft cone that I visited the day before. And Jeju Banokdam. I think this is Halasan. I think that's the volcano. And I bought both of them, and they tasted good. They were beers, all right. And then I also bought, in addition to the 2 beers, a corn tea, because I love corn tea. Tea tier list, it's like barley tea, corn tea, green tea, black tea. I don't know. Barley and corn tea are probably 2 of my favorite teas, 2 of my favorite drinks generally. And then here's more cats, because I always see a lot of strays in Jeju. So these cats, they were like grooming each other, and then they spotted me. And I guess they had to protect themselves. They wanted to make sure I wasn't like a threat to them, so they just kept staring me down until I left. But I was able to get a picture of them. And then this cat was sitting close to them, but it was still kind of away. And he was doing the same thing. This cat was also grooming itself for a bit, and then like it spotted me and it stared me down until I walked away. I think cats like me. I think that's why they stare at me so much. And this was meal number whatever. This was the last meal in Jeju. This is a haejanguk. So it's also known as like hangover soup in America. But what it is, it's like beef, sprouts. Normally there's blood in there as well, coagulated pig's blood, I think, or I think it's pig's blood. And other things that's supposed to help with hangovers. But it's just a good meal, hearty soup. And you can see in the background more soju. Again, by this point in the trip, my dad did the calculations and figured it was much more economical from an alcohol to money ratio to buy soju than to buy beer. So I'm just always drinking soju with him. But yeah, this is the last meal in Jeju. This was a place closer to our Airbnb to try. And then this is my post-meal dessert. I tried some of the ice creams. Did I try another? No, the other ice cream that I got was a Malona bar. I didn't take a picture of that though. I've had Malona bars before, so I know what to expect. And it was good because it was what I was craving. And then this watermelon tasted like watermelon. It tasted... It tasted not like the fruit watermelon, because like flavorings never taste like the fruit they're modeled off of. It tasted like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, kind of, to be honest. So I was a little surprising, but welcome. And then this is me in the Jeju airport, trying to get one last meal in before we leave. So this is night and then this is morning, because all the flights we had in Korea were in the morning. And this is from Lotteria. So there was a Lotteria in the airport. And one of the things that I wanted to try that I didn't get to try at McDonald's was like a shrimp burger, because there's a lot of different there's shrimp burgers in a lot of the fast food places in Korea. So this is the Lotteria shrimp burger. I think there's got like a Thai chili sauce on it as well. It was quite nice. I can tell just from this single bite that I took of it alone that the fast food in Asia is much higher quality than the fast food in America, because this shrimp patty was actually one, had real shrimp in it, and two, the breading was nice and fresh, and also the sauce was nice and it complemented it well. I would say if there's one thing I could change about this, add a piece of like American bacon. There was an option to add bacon in the little kiosk where I ordered from, but at that point I'd figured, oh, wait a second, that's going to be ham. I don't want that. And also it would cost extra. I want to try it by itself first. What is this? This is... oh. So this is in the airport in Jeju. And then we take the airplane back to Seoul from Jeju. It takes like 2 hours. Roughly. No. Was it 2 hours or was it 40 minutes? One of the ways was longer. I can't remember. Oh no, I think it took 2 hours. And this is the first meal back in Seoul. So in the first part of my Seoul trip, I was in Hongdae. Now this is Myeongdong. This is sundubu. So I got sundubu with pork and seafood in it. And now I'm walking around again because I'm scheduled to meet up with my friend again, basically. And I have convenience store drink number 34, burdock tea. This was my least favorite of the teas. Burdock is like a root, and like, it wasn't bad. It just kind of tasted like dirt water, but like tastier than dirt water, if that makes sense. It didn't have a ton of flavor, and the flavor that it did have wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. And then my friend, so this is me on my way to meet my friend. My friend takes me to a ramen place in Gangnam. It's called Oreno Ramen. And it's another Michelin recommended place. It's like a Bib Gourmand on the Michelin website or something. So it's not Michelin starred, but Michelin has taken note of it. And my only criticism of this ramen is we got there near their closing time. So because we got there near their closing time, they said we're kind of out of pork, so we can only give you each one slice of pork, the chashu. And so we're like, sure, whatever, that's fine. And so I only got one piece of pork when I think there should be like 2 or 3. And the pork was really good. It was like really flavorful, really delectable, really succulent. But I only got one slice because we went towards the end when they were closing. And then what else did we find? Oh yeah, I don't know. I took this picture because we were still in Korea. We were still in Gangnam. And then we're walking around because my friend is going like clothes shopping. I was just accompanying him. And we find this place. It's a Mexican Chinese tequila pub in the middle of Gangnam. And I just think to myself, that's just a strange combination. Why would you combine Mexican and Chinese food? And is it just an excuse to make a tequila pub? What's the rationale behind there? Also, what's not shown in this picture is there's a direct competitor right next to them. This Mexican Chinese tequila pub is right next to a Taco Bell. So, like, how are you going to draw customers to your Mexican Chinese tequila pub if right next to you there's a Taco Bell that's also allowed to sell alcohol, you know? They had some type of deal going on for some beer set. That was just a funny thing that I noted. And then I'm going clothes shopping with my friend, and I'm tempted. I kind of want to buy the Eevee pajamas or the Charizard pajamas. I can live out my inner child, you know? They're cool as fuck. But then I told myself I have pajamas at home. I don't need these things, so I didn't get them. And then this is more... where is this? This is more Gangnam. Important to note that before I got this meal with my friend, between here on my way to see my friend and getting the meal, he had just gotten back from like a business trip in China. So, and he felt like he needed to relax a bit. So before we ate, we went to a Korean bathhouse. So I got to see my friend naked for the first time in like my 20 plus years of knowing him. So that was pretty cool. And the bathhouse was really nice because they had he said it was one of the nicer ones in Gangnam in Seoul, but he was kind of disappointed because he once said he thought it would be like bigger or whatever, but it was perfectly big to me. There was like a hot water section, and there was like a hotter water section, and then there was a cold water section, and there were two saunas. And then in addition to that, there was more shike, the rice drink that you can buy at the end. Because the way that the Asian sauna worked is you go and you do your soaks in the different various temperatured baths, and then you go to the saunas, a hot sauna, and the wet sauna and the dry sauna. Then after all that, you get out, use the bathroom, you put on some clothes that the establishment gives you, and then there's like a little rest and relaxation area where you can like buy food or read or just like watch YouTube or whatever. And there's also a place to sleep too, so it's quite nice. Oh, what was that from? So that's from between this and that. That's where the bathhouse takes place. And then what's here? I guess this is after dinner, me going somewhere else, probably on the way home. We're just walking around, and again, more like aesthetic Asian nightlife stuff. So this is the next day. This is me wandering around Myeongdong on my own, thinking about things to do, and I come across this like restaurant with this little, I don't think these are koi, but these little fish, this little fish pond in front of it. This is that restaurant, I think. No, this is some cultural center. More streets. This slot that's spiritually me. There was this, I think it was quite a touristy street where a lot of things were going on. But it was on a hill. So I climbed up the hill. I took a picture looking down. A lot of little shops. This is, I did end up going to Anjeon Anguk. So before I left, I was looking for things to do. More suggestions was, one of the suggestions was, there's a bunch of cafes near Anguk Station. The most famous one of these is Anjeon Anguk. So that's what this is. It's a Hanok style cafe. And that just means like old school Korean. If you look at the architecture, it's like old school Korean. And there's places to sit down on your butt on the floor there as well, with all these pastries. I just thought this is absurd. So this is water is a speech by the philosopher David Foster Wallace. I guess he was a writer as well. And it's about being like, it's a really good speech. It's like 20 minutes long. It's a commencement speech that they gave at Kenyon University. And it's about being like conscious of other people, being compassionate towards other people. It's very, very well written because he was a writer. And they named the fucking blend of coffee beans after it. And I just thought that was such a strange thing to come to. Strange thing to come to, you know? So here is my meal that I got from Anjeon Anguk. I have this like pistachio cream sweet thing and this little like pizza, miniature pizza that has some pesto on it and some bits of ham. This was really good. I like this one a lot. This one was okay. These were quite large as well. And then my cappuccino. If you'll notice, my cappuccino is kind of fucked up because I was waiting for a long time for it. And I was watching the guy make the cappuccino, and his hand was shaking when he was doing like the milk pour for the latte art or the milk art. And so I didn't get quite an aesthetic picture with it, but coffee's coffee and I needed my caffeine, so I drank it anyways. More temples. So Myeongdong has a lot of different temples. Also, I went to Korea during the start of Chuseok and during National Foundation Day. So there's like these are two big holidays that the country gets off for. This is what's this called? This is Gwangjang Market in Seoul. It's a very large, like traditional style market, very touristy. And it's basically more of the same. All these markets kind of have the same thing going on, except in Busan and Seongwipo, they were more fish oriented. There were still fish being sold here, but it's also a lot more vegetables, different food stands. And the reason I came to this market was because there is a Michelin, not starred again. I haven't been to any of the Michelin starred places in Korea, but I went to a lot of Michelin recommended places. There's a Michelin recommended Yukoe place, and Yukoe is the raw meat, right? And so I went there. It's called Buchan Yukoe, and this is what they gave me. I get my little soup, and I get my Yukoe. And I ate it, and it tasted really, really good. For sure deserving of the Michelin recommendation. It was a bit on the pricier side. I think this entire thing was about 20,000 won, which is quite honestly pretty insane considering all the other prices of stuff. But hey, I wanted to try it, and I did. So where is it? There should be pear under there as well. There was like pear under there. They give you the raw meat that's seasoned with the sesame oil, and you have to stir the egg in yourself. And then they give you this soup as well. I couldn't remember what this soup was. I think it was made of the broth was some type of, I don't know, soybean based broth. Probably not soybean. I really don't know what this soup was, but it tasted very familiar. I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I'm meeting up with my friends again, and my friend didn't eat lunch even though I did, so I accompanied him to a Latteria. And he recommended that I should try something, so I said sure, and I got this. And what this thing is, it's a burger. This patty below is basically a big flat mozzarella stick. And then it comes with quote unquote bacon, but really it's just ham. And then after that, I met up with my other friend who I hadn't seen in quite a while. I'm with my friend from America who's doing business in Korea. And then we met up with our other friend who is a doctor, or he's doing his mandatory military service, but he was studied to become a doctor. So he's like a doctor in the Korean army now. And we went to the National Museum of War, which is more than just like the museum related to the Korean War. I think they do have sections related to that, but it's about like the history of Korea. It's basically a history museum. You have all these tanks, and they have this section that they bring you that we went to that details like the entire from the formation of Korea all through all the different periods of Korean history, like the Three Kingdoms period before that, some other stuff. And my friend, who's not a citizen of Korea, who went to almost all of his schooling from elementary, middle school, high school, college in America, was surprisingly knowledgeable about ancient Korean history. He's like, oh yeah, and when this happened, this guy betrayed that guy, and da 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 da. And from his various lectures on Korean history, I learned that there are some commonality, or there's some common themes in Korean history. 1, teaming up with China to overthrow the enemy faction. 2, a violent transition of power, which really goes back to the theme of the current president of Korea is only president of Korea because the other guy tried to do a coup. And even before that, he's only there because the other guy fucked up. And basically the last time that like there was a peaceful transition of power in Korea was like the early 2000s. So yeah, a contentious people they are. And then we went to like a fancy place. My friend made a reservation at this fancy place where it has like a course meal. And that's what we did. We got a bottle of wine, and so this is some type of ceviche on an endive leaf. You can see the little bits of seafood and tomato and all that other stuff. And you can tell it's a fancy restaurant because the portions are small and they give it to you in multiple courses. What is this? This is beef. How is this beef? This is beef with scallions, and then they have some type of pepper paste puree on top of it. This is like a fancy take on a Korean corn dog. Inside of it, there was a rice cake and some beef. And this sauce isn't ketchup. This is like a blend, I think, of like gochujang, of pepper paste and tomato. So it's not quite a tomato-based sauce, but it's like has tomato in there, I believe. And it's got cheese on top of it. So it's the fancy version. This is the name of the restaurant if you want to look at the menu. It's called Hanwumul. Hanwumul. And then here it is, the fancy beef. It said BMS score of 9.0. I think BMS stands for beef marbling score. They have asparagus in there. They cut it up for you. They do all the cooking. And then we had the tomato. So the tomato is not just a tomato, because this is like a peeled cherry tomato. This little sprig on top is not like the leaf of the tomato they've given you to eat. It's a sprig of dill. And then if you see there's like this powder on it, this is a cherry tomato has cinnamon on it and dill. It was a very interesting combination because you get the slight tartness and acidity from the tomato, as well as the spice from the cinnamon. And then the dill flavor just reminds you of a pickle. So while you're eating this tomato, you just kind of think of a pickle. You know what I mean? It was very interesting. I don't want to say I didn't like it, but I also didn't like it that much. I feel like it's one of those flavors, one of those flavor combinations that if I eat more of, I would get used to it and learn to crave it. Similar to like the first time I had salt and vinegar chips, I hated them, but now I kind of crave them from time to time. It's like a very unusual flavor. And then this is just the salad that they serve you. And then this is fried rice. Like that's basically what it is. It's fried rice with bits of beef in it. Soup. So this soup is a seafood soup. You can see this. This is a piece of squid, and below that there's fish inside of it. And this is the dessert. And the dessert is wasabi gelato ice cream. Oh no, not wasabi gelato. So the dessert is wasabi green tea ice cream. It works really well. The hit of the wasabi kind of clears your nasal passage and clears your palate and refreshes it, while the green tea, the subtleties of the green tea are allowed to like really be on display. I don't know. It was a really nice combination. Also, they're both green, so it clears up confusion about what's going to be what. And then we went to Itaewon and we went clubbing. And this is like the first... No, this is like the second bar we went to. The first bar we went to was kind of a small place. This is the bar. It's not quite a club yet, but we were there for a bit. We got some drinks, hung out for a bit. And here's the club. This one is much more the club aesthetic. Here is where I made friends. Here is where some guy told me that he wants a son just like me because I'm very tall. And that, again, that one compliment was enough to like sustain my will to live for the next 30 years. Being told that this random Korean man who has never met me before wants a son like me was enough to like boost my confidence through the roof. And there's more pictures. So this DJ booth, lots of clubbing, pictures from behind the DJ booth. I don't know how DJ booths work. There's a lot of buttons to press and wheels to spin, but there's like stuff here and there's things happening. From the angle from behind even more. I'm not sure if I was supposed to be in this area because there's like tables there, right? And these are the people who are getting bottle service who pay extra to get like an entire bottle. And I just kind of walked around and was taking pictures, and I was also very drunk at this point. I talked to a lot of random people. And by talked, I mean like I gesticulated towards them. There was another guy that said I was making a lot of funny faces because I was moving around the club a lot. And whenever I'd have to like sneak past someone, I would make a funny expression. I think he was watching me. And he told me he liked my funny faces. So that a compliment gave me the will to live for an extra 30 years as well. So I'm not dying just quite yet. And then what else happened? There was a guy sitting alone at a table with a girl. And that table, I wasn't sure if he was part of the table, but the table had gotten bottle service and they had this big bottle of Jameson. And so I was really drunk. The guy was really drunk. I would sit at the table with him. I would pour him Jameson, and then I would sneak myself a few drinks of Jameson as well. So I don't want to say I was stealing because the only people at the table were the guy, his companion for the night, and me. And the Jameson was probably gonna get wasted if nobody else drank it. So I would pour him some because I assumed it was his, and then I would pour some for myself. It was like my fee, you know, for being the guy that pours something. Also, it was technically free, even though I did spend quite a bit of money at the bar. More club pictures, and then between this picture and this picture is like 4 hours. This is like probably around 1:30 or something. At some point we decide, all right, that's enough clubbing for today, let's go home. And as I'm walking back to go use the bus to get back to my hotel so I can go to sleep the next day, I need to use the bathroom. And so my friend like looks up in Naver Maps and Kakao Maps, where's the public bathroom, and he leads me over there because he's a little more sober than I am. And so I go to use the bathroom, and I meet this... I'm not in the bathroom, though I meet this guy. But outside the bathroom, there's this white guy smoking. And I start chatting him up. That sounds weird. I start talking to him. He's like, hey, what's up? Where are you from? And he's like, oh, I'm from this so-and-so location. Like, I'm like, no shit, I'm from so-and-so location. And so I use the bathroom, I come back out. I start talking to this guy because we're not from the same state, but we're from states that are near each other. And so he's like, come with me. You can sit at my table. We'll hang out for a bit. I'm like, all right, man, I'm really drunk. They're like, nah, it's fine. I'm drunk too. And so I'm sitting with this guy and his two friends. and I'm talking to him, and I learned this is like at 2 a.m. by the way. This is after all the clubbing's been done, and I'm trying to make it back home. I get roped into a side quest of talking to this guy. He's a Marine, or not a Marine. He's a U.S. medic stationed in Korea, um, from the East Coast, same area as me, and we just start talking about just like random shit. And somehow the conversation comes to politics because I think I make a joke about the return Yoon people, or I ask him as an American his opinion on that shit or something like that. And so this happens at like 2 a.m. and I'm sitting with him and we're talking and debating and discussing, and he's telling me his points of view whenever we're just talking politics from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. after I'd already done clubbing and I'm like trying to get back home and I'm really drunk. At this point, I'm like really drunk. I'm too drunk to like get up and, or I don't want to like get up and leave and be rude. So but I'm drunk enough to like flatter him. And also it's like a pretty entertaining conversation because he had some interesting points to make, because he claimed that he was like a centrist. And normally when people claim they're a centrist, it's because they're far right Republicans on dating apps that are trying to get laid. But the points you were making were not exactly the same as far right talking point. We're not quite far right talking points. I would even go so far as to say he was on the more progressive side of some issues. So he was actually like centrist, I guess. But anyways, enough about politics. I ended up talking to this U.S. medic from Pennsylvania for what is it, like 3 hours after I'd gone clubbing. And then I decided to go back home. But before I go back home to the hotel, I need to get another convenience store drink. So I got another grape drink, because the Korean flavored grape drinks are just like my kryptonite. Whenever I see them, I just have to buy one. And then while I'm in the convenience store, I read Hangover Cure. This thing is for like one of the clubs or something that helps you with hangover. So I was like, you know what? I'm really drunk right now. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe my hangover won't be as bad the next day. Honestly, considering I had like, how many drinks did I have over the course of the night? I don't know. I had like probably 20 plus. Maybe. I don't remember. The hangover wasn't as bad as it could have been. The only problem though was the next day, after coming back at 5 a.m. to my hotel room, after a very full night of clubbing and discussing politics with another random American I met in Korea, the next day was when my sister decided, you know what, we should wake up early and go visit all the temples. So I don't wake up early with them. They give me that grace of recovering from my Itaewon clubbing night. But I do meet up with them at the temples. And I'm still, all these pictures I'm taking, I'm like really hungover. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, because I could have been like heads or what is it called? An absolutely terrible headache. But surprisingly, I didn't really have a headache. I was mainly just kind of tired and a bit discombobulated, a bit clumsy. But I'm always tired and clumsy anyways, so I know how to navigate through those things. So I'm taking all these pictures, I'm looking at all these temples. I don't remember the names of any of the temples. One of them started with a G, and one of them started with a C. That's what all these pictures are. And because these temples are also going to be very crowded, because at this point it's already Chuseok, and so it's like national holiday. A lot of the temple, or a lot of things are open for the public because it's Chuseok. A lot of like museums and historical cultural things are open to the public for free because it's Chuseok. There's also a lot of people in Hanbok, because I think that's just like a popular thing to do when you go visit the temples in Korea. That's Hanbok. Here is another picture of the temple. This is like the throne room, I think. I don't remember what any of these rooms are. I think this is a special picture. I saw this in a League of Legends trailer. I saw this in a League of Legends teaser regarding Faker. Apparently this picture is like, has to be put behind the king. And it's only for the king, yada yada yada. And that's how I know what this picture is. Not because I read what it was at the temple or at the palace, but because I watched League of Legends. And then this is the meal that we had. So you can tell that I'm kind of hungover because my pictures aren't quite good quality. But these are mandu. These are dumplings that we ordered. We went to a mandu, a dumpling place, and we got naengmyeon. and this is naengmyeon. So before in Busan, I had bilmyeon, which was similar to this, except the noodles are made of wheat instead of arrowroot. Here, the noodles are made of, I think, arrowroot or buckwheat or something, as opposed to regular wheat. But the concept is the same. It's just something cold to eat on a hot day. And again, in Korea, it was like 80 degrees and quite humid constantly while I was there, and or raining. And here's temple number 2, or temples, or palaces. Nice pictures. There was some tour going on here, but you have to pay extra for it, so we didn't do it. Even on vacation, still got to be a little cheap. And then here is King Sejong. This says Sejong Dawang, which I assume means Great King Sejong, because Wang in Chinese also means king, and like Korean and Chinese are quite similar. Sejong. And then this is De. In Chinese, big is, or great is Da. Similar type of transformation. And he's the guy who invented Hangul. And then this is Admiral Yi. He's like one of the greatest military commanders in Korean history, basically. He's a big national hero. He did like the turtle ships, if you know that. Famous guy. And these are all in Seoul. And this is back at Gwangjang Market. Why did I take this picture? Because it's during the day. That's pretty much it. And this is dinner for the second time. This is Tongdak. This is fried chicken. This is like... So modern Korean fried chicken, they have like the flavored batter and everything. But this is like much more old school. This is... They don't really use batter. It's just kind of... You throw the chicken in the oil and you fry it in that. And this is kind of the predecessors to modern Korean fried chicken. Why did we get this? Because it's kind of nostalgic for me. Because I used to get this, or my dad used to get this for us when I was younger. There used to be a place near us. But now you can't really find it in the States anymore because everything has been taken over by modern Korean fried chicken with the different flavors, which is still good, don't get me wrong, but this is different. It's a little more classic. And then this was dinner. And then this was my breakfast of the next morning. This is the last full day in Seoul, and then the day after this we come back to America. And so my breakfast is a scone and a cappuccino. This was a cafe that was connected to our hotel, kind of, because all the hotels that we stayed at, there's always like a convenience store right across the street, and some of them had cafes attached. And this is the one that was had the cafe attached. The hotel we stayed in was like the Lotte City Hotel. And here I'm with my friends again, and we get more Korean style Chinese food. So this isn't jjajangmyeon. It's similar. It's the same idea. It's noodles with a black bean sauce, but the noodles are a different shape. And the black bean sauce that I got was like much spicier. It's got peppers in it. This is some type of... My friend said the word and I immediately forgot it. But basically what it is it's pork that is marinated in soy and boiled in the soy or something. It's like pork belly. And it's got bok choy. I don't remember what it's called. I don't know the Chinese or the Korean name, but it's really good. And then the reason my friend took us here is because he wanted to stop by Yeongcheon Market. Because this is an area that, this is my military Korean friend, the guy's doing his mandatory military service. This is an area that he knew from his days of like being a student in, I think it was, I don't remember if he said it when he was a resident for his medical training, or if he was like a med school student or something, but he used to be around this area a lot. He used to work in a hospital close to here, I think. And so he took me around to Yeongcheon Market. He said going to traditional markets is like a very hipster thing to do in Korea now. And I asked him, why is that? He said, in order to be a hipster in Korea, you either have to do something that old people do or do something that costs a lot of money. And those are the two things that quantify being a hipster in Korea. And so going to a traditional market is something that a lot of old people do. And so by doing it, we're being hipsters. I don't know. It was strange. Korean hipsters are weird. But yeah, this is the market. Again, just like all these other traditional markets, they have like food and snacks. And we got this. It's basically a Korean donut with red bean filling. And then they took me to another museum. So they took me to the museum of the National Museum. What is it called? the National Museum of the Provincial Government of Korea. So before Korea was like established as a republic in like 1950 whatever, or pre or post Korean War or whatever, there's a bunch of different movements for independence to break away from Japanese colonization. And so this museum was entirely dedicated to those governments that kind of did all of that. This over here is a prison where one of the martyrs of the Korean independence movement was imprisoned, and a lot of Korean people were, because it was run by the Japanese and it was still during Imperial Japanese rule. And then there's a bunch of other stuff as well. But this is the museum, and it overlooks a prison and some more stuff. I think that's a mountain. And then my Korean military friend had to leave, and I was stuck with my Korean business friend. He took me to the Banpo Bridge because he said there was supposed to be like a market that's going on Banpo Bridge with food and stalls and stuff. And we get to here, the Banpo Bridge, and there's nothing. And I asked him, "Are you sure you read it correctly?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And there was even a banner that said like, "Oh yeah, this market's happening on this day." And he said, "Oh, the reason there must be no market is because when it rains too much, sometimes this part floods." I guess they didn't want to go through the hassle of like caring about all the flooding of their different vehicles and whatnot. So that's why there was no market, according to him. And that's why it's empty. So we had to figure out something else to do for dinner, because originally the dinner plan was just to walk along this Banpo Bridge market and get food. So we went to my last meal in Korea, or almost my last meal in Korea, was eating at Mom's Touch, which is basically Korean Chick-fil-A. It's just a chain with a bunch of sandwiches. And so I got here a chicken sandwich with some cheese and some ham on it with some fries and a cola. That was my last meal in Korea. And then the Banpo Bridge, they have this little water show with at a certain time, I think at like 7:30. You can look at it here. The lights go up and down. I use my height to my advantage to see over everyone else. The water goes up and down. They pump the water up from the Han River. And then here I'm just walking around. This is the Namsan Tower, I think. It's just some big tower in Seoul. And then my friend decides, let's go to like a jazz bar or something. So we're looking for a jazz bar, and on the way there is like this little alleyway that leads up into like the rooftops of some building. So I go up it, and this is what I find. This is on top of a building, by the way. So we walk up a bunch of stairs, and there's this alleyway next to the tops of the building. Kind of creepy. And then I made it to the jazz bar. So this is the jazz bar. It's called Boogie Woogie. It's near Itaewon. And this is the bathroom of it. And I found this funny. There's just a bunch of random stickers on it. Just the skeleton with a machine gun going autism. And that was my last full day in Korea. Now, this is Incheon Airport. So we flew into Incheon. We're flying out of Incheon. They have an airporter. They have a robot porter, I guess. And then this is my actual last meal in Korea. It's one of the airport food stuffs, or the airport restaurants. I have to say, I'm much more impressed with the airport restaurants in Korea versus American airport restaurants. Because in America, the airport restaurants are like, you can get McDonald's, you can get Burger King, you can get generic fast food. You can also get like, some of them have hot dog chains, but they're always super, super overpriced. Like $20 for a regular Big Mac combo or whatever. This was much cheaper. I got 2 pieces of pork cutlet, a piece of fried fish, a piece of shrimp tempura, the classic slaw, some rice, and udon for like $10 pretty much. Extremely cheap. And I got a coffee as well, so altogether it was like what, like $12 or something. And they had this nice little performance as well. So this wasn't classical music, they were playing more jazz standards. So I went from listening to jazz music in a bar late at night to listening to jazz music in the morning at an airport. And this is meal number 1. So this is me on my return flight. Thankfully, the return flight was only 12 hours, and I had planned to be awake through all of it. And I was almost awake through all of it. I only slept for an hour on the flight. And the reason for that was because I was going to land at like 10 p.m. local time or 8 p.m. local time or something. And so in order to tire myself out, I would just stay awake on the flight. And so I did that successfully. The options they had for dinner on the flight, on the return flight, was like this, which was pork and seafood. I think they had some beef option and one other thing that I can't remember. And this is what I got. They have squid. It's like spicy squid pork stir fry with rice. Some pickled panchan, and then some vegetables you can throw in there if you want, and some more myeokguk, some more seaweed soup. And again, they serve wine. And then I got a nice little tiramisu as well. And then the mid-flight snack, going there, it was the pizza hot pocket that I missed that my sister said was amazing. Coming back, I got a Korean corn dog. It was okay. That's what it looks like. It was honestly better than I was expecting, but still like nothing special. And then this was the breakfast meal. And that's the last picture I have. The breakfast meal, you could choose between this or the rice porridge. I just chose this, and what this is basically kind of the same thing as going there. Eggs with some cheese on it, piece of yogurt, some fruit, a muffin, you get water, potatoes. So on the way going there, it was tater tots. On the way coming back, it was like home fries kind of thing. And then some carrots and some greens. It was good. Again, eggs were for sure better than my dining hall eggs in college. One funny thing about the Korean Air stuff though, so they have a lot of wide movie selection, and one of the movies that they offered was Whiplash. I've watched Whiplash before. I've known all the famous scenes of Whiplash. I've watched Whiplash probably like 3 times or so. But it's been a while since the last time I've watched it, so I decided to watch it again. As a matter of fact, all the movies that I watched on the flight home are movies that I've seen already. I watched Parasite, the first foreign film to win an Oscar for Best Picture. I watched Her with Joaquin Phoenix, which is honestly like a very relevant film to today's time about people falling in love with AI. I would highly recommend, if you haven't watched Her since this whole AI boom, watch Her again with Joaquin Phoenix, and it'll give you... There was a lot of like very relevant points. For example, Joaquin Phoenix's character works at a company whose entire purpose is to write messages for other people, right? And that's kind of like what AI does in a sense, and he also falls in love with AI. I don't know. It felt much more poignant today in the modern era of chatbots and large language models than it did when I first watched it like 8 or so years ago. I watched The Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson, and I watched Whiplash, like I said. The funny thing about that was, though, is if you've watched any scene from Whiplash, you know that they don't exactly use the most polite language. You can know that Fletcher, J.K. Simmons' character, is not exactly all sunshine and rainbows to Neiman, which is Miles Teller's character. He uses very colorful language, shall we say. But because they offered this film on a flight, that children can watch and choose to watch, they have to edit it. They have to edit it in such a way that all of the more descriptive language that J.K. Simmons uses in Whiplash is replaced or cut out. So there's the scene, the Not My Tempo scene, where J.K. Simmons is doing the clapping. He's like, not quite my tempo, and he's doing all that thing when we first start to see the real horror of Fletcher. And when he screams when he's supposed to scream not my fucking tempo, it has to be edited to be not my heckin' tempo. And so there's a real stark contrast between the intensity with which J.K. Simmons plays Fletcher, the rage and the passion, and with all the language that's being used, and also the fact that he's being so enraged and so impassioned while saying things like, not my father tempo. I don't know. That was funny. It turned Whiplash from like a bit of a psychological thriller into more of a comedy. But anyways, this is the last picture of my Korea trip. That was all of my pictures. All 300 of them. It took me only like 4-ish hours. I probably could have spent more time if I wanted to, but at this point I'm kind of like, I also want to go to sleep. So that's all for today. Next stream, Hollow Knight, Saturday, Silk Song. Even though everyone else has already finished playing Silk Song, I haven't, so I have to finish that. And then I also have to play Final Fantasy Tactics. All these games came out while I was in Korea that I have to catch up on. So that's what I'm going to do then. But for now, I'm going to sleep because it's almost 2 a.m. and I'm very tired. Thanks for stopping by.